the reality in virtual reality, those split-second decisions, the sheer raw ability. Don't let the simulation detract from the racing. This is racing. This is FDSR. Welcome everyone, we are live, we are back, Final Drive Sim Racing, Thursday night, and it is sprint race, and I love a bit of sprint racing, so we got sprint races tonight. It's back, round 2, season 4, Watkins, Glen, and as you can see by that tarmac, it is not dry out there, so that is going to make it interesting. Our usual sprint race format, just to remind you, or inform you if you're new to us: 15-minute qualifying, 40-minute race, quali 2 7 minutes, 20-minute second race with ballast and reverse grid in place, and your commentary team, as always, myself, and I will be joined very shortly, once the working lives allow them to, by Mr. Luke Dugdale and Mr. Aaron Markham, and it will be a pleasure to have them along as always, but I'm sure they will be here before too long. So let's pop along and take a look at the calendar just to confirm we are at Watkins Glen this week. So this is round 2, and we've got 2 sprint races for you this evening, as we just have said. Let's take a look at the drivers' table. So we are one round in now after the endurance race around Bathurst. So here we are, Alex Kingston leading after his victory, Adam Scott in second place after a great finish last week, and Lloyd Reed finishing out the podium. Disappointing race for Adam Foster, Ashley Humphreys, a couple of those guys really not finishing where they would have wanted to and where they would have expected to. So expecting better days from them tonight. And being a sprint race, obviously double points on offer, as there are 2 races, so plenty still to play for these drivers, and plenty going on. So yeah, we'll keep an eye and see how those guys get on today. But obviously there's only been 1 round, and you get plenty of dropped scores, so 1 for endurance race can be dropped and 1 sprint series can be dropped as well. So let's take a look at the teams. So on the team side of things, Baltec are top with 79, way ahead of Team Dash, and then Rad with 39 points, and DP Racing with 23. The power rankings. So that shows us all the wins, poles, podiums, driver of the races, and fastest laps. So that is being dominated by Kingston at the moment after his dominant performance last week. But that will change, I'm sure, as the season goes by. And the last table we got for you is positions lost and positions gained. Sorry, that's a little bit out of sync with size there. Let me just sort that out. There we go. So Foster losing the most positions last week, no surprise there. 13 positions lost. Alan Davis gaining an incredible 12 positions, and Dan Stevens 10 positions. So great work from both of those drivers last week, that is for sure. So here we are, I'm back. I'm glad to be back, and hopefully I'll have some other people joining me very shortly. Sorry, I just realised my bowl is here. I've forgotten to take my dish out to the kitchen, so excuse the bowl. I apologise for that. But here we are at the Glen. So as we do now, we had some sprint races on Tuesday, on our 2 Sprint Tuesday. So let us take a look at the highlights from Tuesday's action. Here we go. Well, a wet Watkins Glen saw Adam Foster in pole position from Wes Beerkhouse in the first of the 2 races of 2 Sprint Tuesdays. This is, of course, the second round of races after Bathurst in round 1. And Beerkhouse with a poor start, seeing him drop a few places off the start, with Foster going on to lead on the opening lap. It's halfway through the first lap was when we saw a change for the lead, with Foster losing position there to Reed. Reed going up into first place with a fantastic overtake down the back straight. Foster constantly under pressure from fellow Honda man Mooney. And close racing between the top 5 all the way through. The end of the race saw some battling between number 22 car Damien Humphreys in the Audi and the Porsche number 88 of Bullen. They were close right for the last couple of laps, but Humphreys held out. A late dive there from Foster, trying to unlap himself after an accident early on, meant that he was no longer fighting for the win. So in the end it was Wes Beerkhouse who took victory, and the checkered flag in first place, with Tonks in second, Tickner in third with a fantastic podium, Mooney 4th, Humphreys 5th, Bullen 6th, Ash Humphreys in 7th, Stockton in 8th, Aaron Markham in 9th, and Rich Arnold rounding out the top 10 in the Honda NSX. But for race 2, with the faster cars drop into the back of the grid for a reverse grid situation, it was Lloyd Reed who was out in front on his own. As you can see, they're battling away with the Audi of Humphreys and the BMW of Kevin DeHaan, and there was plenty of action going through the first few corners. On lap 5, Reed and DeHaan still battling away for victory, with plenty of action in behind them as well. Bullen under plenty of pressure once again in the Porsche, with Ash Humphreys and Richard Arnold both putting huge pressure on him. You can see Ash Humphreys just poking the nose out there, trying to make the move on the Porsche. Did get the move done later on down the start-finish straight. Poor exit from Bullen on the final corner, and that Humphreys got himself that position. But in the end it was Reed who took another Sprint Series victory at the checkered flag, with DeHaan coming home in second, Mooney in third, Beerkhouse 4th, Balsili in 5th in the Honda, 6th for Ash Humphreys, 7th for Bullen, Bart Tonks in 8th, Rich Arnold in 9th, and Dan Stevens rounding out the top 10 in the West McLaren. So there you have it. That was our Sprint Series that we had on Tuesday. Sorry, I couldn't remember what day of the week it was then. So just give you a quick update of the table. Lloyd Reed taking his second victory of the season, I believe. That puts him top of the Sprint Series Championship at 211 points, from 4 ahead of Beerkhouse and 7 ahead of DeHaan. Very close between those lot. Then you got Humphreys in 4th, Bullen, who's me, let's be honest, in 5th, Scott Balsili in 6th, Mooney 7th, Foster in 8th, my co-commentator and teammate Mr. Aaron Markham in 9th, Bart Tonks rounding out the top 10 there with 30 Sorry, not 33 points, that's his number. With 94 points. Confusing myself as usual. So there we go. That was the Sprint Series this week. So I'm delighted to be joined by Mr. Aaron Markham. I don't know if we've got anyone else, but is it just you, Aaron, at the moment?
It's just me so far.
We'll take it.
Indeed.
We'll take it. But one Aaron is better than no Aarons.
That's very true.
So, yeah, we got to experience a bit of the wet Glen on Tuesday. So how did you find it? Take it through us from a driver's perspective then.
Wet Glen is definitely not a sentence I thought I'd hear tonight, but it was it was very, very. I tell you what, it wasn't difficult as difficult as I thought it was going to be. Certainly challenging. But very surprising. I don't know how you felt, but I was quite surprised at the level of grip available still in the wet. I found that the Porsche, with the setup that we ran anyway, was actually pretty stable. And with the right traction control, it was actually fairly handy. I think if it was a proper downpour, it might be a different story, because there was definitely a dry line that formed, even in those 20 minutes, which definitely helped us with the grip side of things. But, you know, I think one of the things that I found racing on Tuesday was how quickly I felt I was on the limit, but realistically how far off I was compared to the fast boys. They just drove as if it was dry. I couldn't believe it. It just felt like they were in a totally different league altogether. But yeah, how about yourself, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, I echo what you're saying there. It wasn't as difficult as I thought it was going to be, but still, I guess, by that I mean I wasn't constantly doing donuts on the straights.
Yeah.
But, comparing us, as you say, to the aliens, if you like, in this league, is, different kettle of fish altogether. We were just not quite with it. But, yeah, I managed to have a couple of nice battles with the Humphreys brothers and such, so it was good fun, and it's just nice to have something to race in on a regular basis on this, and the fact that it's the same tracks, the same conditions is great for us, because it gives us that real life insight into what these guys are gonna be experiencing. So it was good fun. Good fun it was. So, we're just coming towards the end of practice. So, before we get to the end of practice, I'll just chuck our usual track guide on. So, this one's an old one, because we did Watkins Glen, I think, in Season 2. It may have been last season, I can't remember. I have slept since then. So, here's the track guide I did previously, whenever it was. And then we'll get into the action of qualifying very, very shortly. Hello and welcome. First track guide I've been able to do in a while, but we've got the opportunity to do that now today. So here I am back in the TCSRL branded Honda NSX, and we're going to take you on a lap of a new track for us, one we haven't been to before, at Watkins Glen. So let's take a look at what the drivers will be contending with this time around.
Green light, give it all you got.
So as usual, we are in hot lap mode. Just taking down, so this is the final corner. You want to be on the brakes, third gear, wait for the front end to bite, then back on the power, down the start finish straight. Got a very heavy braking zone for turn one. Down to second, get the car turned in, back on the power as early as you can, because this is a long section where you're flat out, and you've got this Eau Rouge style corner that I call Faux Rouge to contend with as well, and you're flat on the throttle all the way through there, no lift at all, and then you come down to the dreaded chicane, so you want to hit the curbs as hard as you can without unsettling the car too badly. Back on the power, and then just ease off, wait for the car to find the grip, back on the power, up then to the next hairpin, hard on the brakes, get the car turned in nicely, back on the power, down to the next hairpin, Again, hard on the brakes, get the car turned in. You've got to be patient on the throttle through there. It's so tempting to hit it early, but you will spin out if you do that. Heading down now to the 90-degree right-hander, down to second again. It tightens as you go through there, so it's a bit of a tricky corner. Again, down to second. Another corner that tightens half the way through, so you've got to be patient again with the throttle. It's smooth with your inputs. Penultimate corner, then you can run a little bit wide, but not that wide. I just invalidated the lap a bit there, which was my mistake. Let's go for a fast one. So hard on the brakes, back on the throttle. There we are, and
Well done, mate. That's all the best.
148 flat, so that's about the time I was doing when we did the Porsche races around here a little while ago. So yeah, that's you know, not going to be as quick as the fast guys from this league, but hopefully it gives you an idea of what the guys are going through tonight. Great fun technical circuit. It's got a bit of everything and should give us some fantastic racing over the next 2 hours. Well, there you go. So that was my track guide from a little while back. So in the dry, obviously, a very different prospect for these drivers tonight. So practice is just finishing up now, so quali will be starting anytime soon. And we've got a wonderful grid of 24 drivers out there, which is great to see. Unfortunately, still not got a couple of our regular people. Ash Humphreys, I think, is missing this evening, and still no Dom Ingle, which is a shame. But we are still very healthy in terms of grids. So 24, you know, you'll get the odd rage quitter, I expect. So if we finish with 20, I'll be happy, because you usually get one or two. Yeah, we were just talking off air there, Aaron. You were saying you think quali could be quite interesting and quite close.
Yeah, definitely. You know, we saw last night that the actual field spread between the few of us that were there was actually pretty tight knit. And I think the rain will definitely be a leveler in the sense that there's not necessarily multiple ways you can drive these corners. You know, there seems to be, or it seemed to be watching Adam on Tuesday, one very fast way of driving or taking multiple corners and no other way about it really. So I think we're in for a pretty close and a pretty good qualifying, and I think we might see a couple of surprises towards the top of the leaderboard. I know I was surprised by just how quick you and I were on Tuesday, so who knows what's in store for tonight.
Absolutely. That is what we got to look forward to. So I'm just put in the quali session relative best up, just so we can see the gaps on screen. And let's let these guys get their warm-up laps done, and then we'll see how quali goes. So they got 14 minutes to bang in as many laps as they can, and the fastest man wins. So am I right in thinking that we don't have what's his face tonight? Sorry, I can't think of his name now. My mind's gone blank. Oh no, he is there. Kingston. Sorry.
Eli Pope.
No,
I thought you were going to say Eli Pope.
No, I was looking for Alex Kingston, to be honest. I just hadn't noticed him, but he is there. He is there. So my mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was concerned that perhaps we weren't going to see our championship leader tonight. But he is there. So ignore me. I'm talking nonsense as usual. Yeah, technical circuit, isn't it? But it's got a little bit of everything, this one. So it's certainly a challenge for the drivers, but such a good fun one to drive, isn't it?
Yeah, it's high satisfaction, isn't it? And I definitely think it's a high power track as well. We found that we were quick in the technical parts, and we would lose it all immediately coming out of Fort Rouge down that straight. So even though there's not really many straights, it's certainly a track where your car has to have a bit of everything and has to have a bit of an engine
I'll tell you
power,
what,
doesn't it?
Take us around it then. So we've just gone through turn one. We're on board with Wes Beerco's. Take us through it.
Yeah, sure. A little bit of a sketchy Fort Rouge this run up the hill, I found. The rear can get a little bit light on you if your tyres aren't quite warm, but no problem for Wes at all. And yep, all he's looking at now is the braking markers that are going to appear on the left. So he picks his spot, flicks it in, can be very aggressive over the bumps with the BMW, takes a fantastically tight line. That's what we want to see. Already turning right there for the hairpin as soon as he come off the chicane, didn't take it wide, just flick the car in there, taking plenty of exit curb as we wind our way down now into the series of medium sweeping hairpins. Short shifts into third there, which is what we were doing. Gives you the great traction. Nice corner this, because it's an uphill hairpin, so you can actually brake really late and square off the corner. Interesting to see him taking tight lines. I know Adam Foster was taking mid sort of lines. He was in the middle of the corner, so different way of going about it. But this is where I struggled. Bags of understeery, because it's a downhill, slightly off cambered hairpin, and this one's even more off cambered as well. Taking the wide line there and a late apex, getting the car straightened off as early as he possibly can. Seems to be a pretty complete lap this, Mike. I think he could go towards the top of the leaderboard. I don't think it'll be a 52 flat that's just flashed up on your screen, but he's been a little bit actually, I thought he was going to be a bit conservative there on the exit. He's going to cross the line and he's going to set a time that's good enough for P3. That's not a bad lap from Wes. A little bit left on the table maybe, but definitely I can definitely see him setting a 52 flat or even quicker.
Yeah, he's definitely got some time to play with there. That you could see that a little bit tentative, I think, as you said, through a couple of corners, but very close between Kingston and Foster at the moment. Here's Kingston, currently the only man in the 51s, only just by 200ths of a second, but in the 51s nonetheless. And Foster set a 52 flat. Sorry.
I was just going to say, check out P3, Mike. That's a surprise for me.
Yeah, Scott Balsillie. You know, Scott drove well. He missed most of the first race with us on Tuesday, but he started at the back and finished in 5th on race 2. So, and it was only a 20-minute race. So I think he's got pace round here. But you're all right. It is a bit of a shock to see him up there, but he's in a new car this season in the Honda. There he is, in the HRC Honda, and he's looking pretty sharp. And he's no stranger to the wet, so could see a bit of a surprise one from him. Who knows? Purple flashing up on both Kingston and Foster as they come towards the end of their laps at the moment. Both of them capable of taking that pole position. It's flashing back and forward depending on the corner they're on, really, and how much time they're able to make up and save. So you're watching the onboard of Foster, which is a little bit behind my stream. It's about 2-3 seconds behind, as you can see there. But Foster does take provisional pole with a 51.6. That is quite a time. But Kingston looks like he's close to beating it. And he does, and he beats it, but not by much. It's good to see these guys being a lot closer together this season. Kingston seemed to have Foster covered for the most part last season. But Foster right up there with Kingston this week. Oh, Lloyd Reed's popped in the middle of those guys as well. So, I mean, Lloyd's driving really well at the moment. He's had a couple of victories already in the Tuesday Sprint Series, and he's driving so well, isn't he, Aaron, at the moment, Lloyd?
Yeah, he was absolutely rapid on Tuesday night, and it's good to see that that wasn't just a fluke and that it's carried over. It seems to be that anything German seems to be really fast unless it's a Porsche. So it's, I think Lloyd was very quick at Bathurst. He's been very quick here, and he definitely seems to have improved in the Mercedes compared to the Audi. So onwards and upwards, the sky's the limit. And he's certainly smashing through it and reaching for the stars. He's doing fantastic, and I'm quite keen to see how he gets on this season. If he can challenge consistently with the top guys, to think of where we first started watching Lloyd, it just shows that anyone can do it if you have the time and the practice and you're willing to grind out the results effectively.
Absolutely. Very interesting to see that there's less than 2/10 between, just over 2/10 between the top four. So that bodes well. Adam Scott there in his second race with the league. Got second place last week, and I'm sure he'll be hoping for a much less adventurous week this week, obviously with Bathurst being a baptism of fire for some of the drivers who were joining us for the first time. So then you got Bakehouse in 5th, Balseely in 6th, as we said, doing a grand job so far. Andrew Wellborn on debut, another Mercedes driver, so he finds himself in 7th at the moment. Look forward to seeing his progress as the season goes on. Bart Tonks currently in 8th. Bart driving much better in the BMW this season than we have seen in the past, so that's really good to see. Kevin DeHaan surprisingly only down in 9th. Drove well on Tuesday and has been driving well for a good while now, but he doesn't seem to quite have the pace today, so we'll see how he gets on. Josh Evans, who finished 5th I believe on debut last week, our sole Welshman other than myself, so we'll be keeping a close eye on him as well because he's Welsh. And he's in a McLaren, and we're in a McLaren top tonight. So there we go. That's him sold. He's got plenty of airtime for him. Matt Heaton in his Sons of Anarchy liveried Lamborghini, which is pretty cool. He's in 11th. Rich Arnold in 12th. Pretty good for him, actually. Good big field tonight. Don't forget, guys, as well. So 12th is basically, the top half of the grid. So 12th for Rich Arnold at the moment, doing well. Graham Morris, probably a little bit disappointed, I'd say, to be that far down. I mean, Graham's been in the McLaren since day one of season 1. So, you'll probably be a little bit disappointed with 13th. But still a little bit of time for these guys to improve. Michael Mooney down in 15th. Again, another driver who is driving well at the moment but doesn't seem to be able to hook it up, but maybe he set it up for the race more than quali. We will see. Alan Davis just heading out for an outlap. He's currently 16th. Tickner, who managed to get a podium, as we said in the pre-show, in one of the sprint races on Tuesday. He's in 17th at the moment. Artis Millers is in 18th. You can see Artis Millers in one of our new screens there, which you can see. So we've got Foster and Miller's own streams, so we can keep an eye on a bit more action for you as we go through the races. So hopefully you guys will find that entertaining when we get into race trim. Damien Humphries down in 19th at the moment. Ben Simpson back in his McLaren this week in 20th. Dan Stevens in 21st, and he entered both races on Tuesday as well, so he's had plenty of practice ready for this one, so I'm sure he is rearing to go. Darrell Weaver's in the Lego car. That's a pretty cool livery as well. So many cool liveries we've got out there. And Paul Prescott then in 23rd. Stephen Baker in 24th. No, that's why I didn't to see him because Luke Barnard set a time when I wasn't looking and jumped up to 8th place. So Luke on debut tonight, a guy that we all know really well from Thursday Night Racing League, TNRL, a league, a PlayStation league that was run, and we did a bit of PC as well. Luke, one of the founding members and a friend of mine. So so Josh isn't the sole Welshman because I forgot Luke had joined, so we got Luke as well. So we got a couple of Welshmen in tonight, so we're all flying the flag. But Luke, 8th on debut. He literally had his PC yesterday afternoon, I believe, so 4 o'clock. So he's not had a lot of time to get set up and get going. Lots of experience on this software though on PlayStation, although PC is another kettle of fish. But no doubt it'll take him a little bit of time to get up to speed and get used to the physics on PC. But he is a very accomplished sim racer, and I'm sure we'll see him fighting for podiums before you know it. Or at least I'm sure he hopes so. So great spread of cars. We got Lambos, McLarens, Hondas, Ferraris, Mercs, BMWs, pretty much everything out there. So that is great to see, and a 24 car grid to go with it. So where are we at the top then? Kingston still on pole. Adam Scott now second. Lloyd Reed still third. Adam Foster fourth. And then Balseely's got himself ahead of Bakehouse. That is a heck of a drive from Balseely at the moment. Really, really good stuff. Excuse me while I choke. Oh, a little bit of coffee. But yeah, excellent stuff from Balseely. I'm just looking to see if any others. Michael Mooney's hugely improved on his time in the NSX, and the very brightly. I love the lag spike incoming on the back of that car, which is brilliant because, turbo lag and then a spike just at the end of the rev range just to send the rear end fishtailing off into a barrier somewhere. It's pretty much the earmark of the Honda NSX on this game. So that is fun, quite entertaining. But yeah. Absolutely fantastic livery, and yeah, you can see his time's improved. Graham Morris has also improved. He's got himself up into 8th position while we've been talking away. But Kingston's still the man to beat and still showing his purple, so he's still improving even on the time he has already done. So great stuff from him. He's doing a fantastic job. I believe we've got Dougie with us as well. How are you doing, Doug?
Not too bad, not too bad. If I'm heavy deep breathing down the mic, please let me know because I do have a blocked nose. So I put my big boy pants on today and thought I'll still attend my duties.
So that's Dougie saying he's going to get his phone stalker voice out.
It's a Darth Vader.
And the answer to your question is yes, I do like scary movies. Anyway, back to the action. Can you believe there's only 2 thousandths of a second between first and second place at the moment? 2 thousandths of a second in these conditions in 2 different cars. All that's separating those 2 drivers, Kingston and Scott, is nothing short of a blink of an eye. Probably not even that. 2 thousandths of a second. That's unbelievable. Just how close it is. So any one of those top 4 could take pole at the moment, and they're all still out there banging away at the lap times, and there's less than a minute to go now. So Kingston into the pits, so that's him done. So Kingston is into the pits. His work is done. The question is, can Scott, Reed, or Foster, or anyone else for that matter, pull a lap out that can beat it? That is the question. I keep going to the wrong camera angle.
A question we will soon find out the answer to because there is only 25 seconds left of qualifying.
Exactly right. Foster's also in the pits, so I think he's done. Yeah, he is. So Millers is still setting a lap. Scott has lost. He was purple, but he's lost that time that he had gained. We can't see on his dash. Unfortunately, it doesn't feed the information through of whether he is up or down. But according to the information I have, he is not improving on his time at the moment. Lloyd Reed's off the track, so he's done. Wellborn's got himself up into 6th. Mooney's got himself up into 5th. Great drive from Michael Mooney there in qualifying.
Honda's doing fabulously well in qualifying.
It is, and Scott has improved the 2 corners there. He gained 0.2 of a second. He's now showing his purple again. Always lost a bit of time. He's gaining it back. It's almost impossible to see what's going to happen here. It's to in and fro in from 0 to 1 to 0.2 of a second. It's all over the place. Has Adam Scott got enough momentum over the line to take pole position? He needs 0.02 of a second. He's got it.
He's done it.
He's done it. By 0.04 of a second, Adam Scott takes his maiden pole position for Final Drive Sim Racing. Absolutely fantastic stuff. I mean, he was to and fro in there, wasn't he, Doug? It looked like he wasn't going to be able to do it, but he managed to do it in the end.
Yeah, it's one of them where it was back and forth, but to just gain that 0.02 of a second doesn't take much. You can gain that in the last corner, really, and take first, but even so, congratulations to him, because we're really, really good at that there.
Oh, I've
Absolutely.
just got goosebumps there. That never, ever, ever happens in sim racing. I can't believe that.
Almost
I don't know
never
why.
does.
It just really surprised me.
Yeah, absolutely. It's it's just one of those moments, and it's absolutely brilliant. But Rich Arnold looking to break into the top 10 at the moment, and he's to abandon
He's
his
breaking off track now.
And
I don't
Kevin
think there's any breaking about.
Kevin DeHaan then is our sole person left on a lap, so he's the only person left out there on a lap. Kevin DeHaan, he's got time to complete this lap. He's just about up on his time, I think. Oh, he's hit the
Oh, he's hit the
wall.
wall.
He's hit the wall, and I think that is that. So Kevin DeHaan is only 15th position.
Right, there's some rain in the
Unbelievable.
session.
There's
Watch out for
so
slippery
many
curb.
talented drivers out there now. 24 car grid. Absolutely unbelievable stuff. Well, this is absolutely brilliant. And yeah, what a qualifying session. Absolutely epic. So
Exactly what we want going into a sprint. Everybody so close together. It just means that there'll be no gaps.
yeah, absolutely. And 40 minutes for race 1, 20 minutes for race 2. Absolutely perfect conditions for some close racing. The spray will be playing a part. Oh, I honestly can't wait. It's just going to be really, really good stuff. Have we got any drivers to talk to, gentlemen? Sorry, I've got so many things
do.
on the go that I can't see. So if you could ask away and inform, that would be fantastic.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll give you £10 if you can guess the man who's joined the chat.
Oh, is it Adam Foster by any chance?
It's not.
You've just lost a tenner.
How you doing, Richie? All right?
Yeah, good man, good. Pretty happy with that. That was that track got so much quicker as that went on. The times you guys obviously looked at the timing boards; they must have been dropping like stones.
Yeah. I mean, you should have seen. We watched Scott's pole position, but Jesus, I couldn't believe it. I was just saying, I actually got like goosebumps. It was quite exciting watching it.
What did he get in the end?
He ended up beating Kingston
30
by
seconds.
400s. I don't know what his exact.
It was
time
a 51.420, I think it was.
It's just disgusting, really, isn't it?
Absolutely rapid, isn't it? I have a question about tyres, Rich.
Yes,
so,
mate.
On Tuesday, when we
10
were
seconds.
racing in the sprint, obviously a dry line formed, probably within
Yes.
about the first 10 minutes. But you've got another 20 minutes on top of that for the first race. Now, come the end of it, I had my PSIs at 27, and the tyres were getting pretty hot. So, are you worried about tyre temperatures? Are you setting them up to be a little bit cold? And
I think
diesel, or-
everyone's put the pressures to expect them to get warmer.
Yeah.
I think in ACC it's much better. The wet tyres are pretty universal. You can run them hot, you can run them in dry conditions. Really,
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to affect us too much temperature-wise. But yeah, it definitely going to drop the pressures a little bit just to because the dry line is a real thing here now. I mean, it is so. On that qualifying, on lap 2 of qualifying, it was like the line's there, you can see it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's probably going to play a part, but probably not too bad on tyres. I think wet races are really good. The wet tyres on ACC are just like invincible, really. They just keep going. So tyres probably won't play too much for a part today, but the people might get caught out if they don't do the pressures. Then if they're running around with 35, 36 psi, it's going to change the grip levels quite substantially. So yeah, something to watch out for. But yeah, I haven't. I won't be getting caught out, thankfully.
I think I got caught out a little bit because towards the end of the stint, they were starting to get a little bit hot. But I found that within the early stages, I was challenging Ash pretty well, like pretty easily. And then all of a sudden, everybody came back to me, and I was like, "Oh, Maybe I screwed these tyres a little bit.
No, it was my first go out on the sprints on Tuesday, and I've got to admit, it's a good little setup. It does work really well, and it's nice to get you boys on track as well. So it's really good addition that to the league. I like it.
Can I just interject just a sec? I just want to confirm: are we running the new formation lap settings for this evening? Yeah. Okay. So. That is just to confirm, folks. Then
my next one.
The drivers,
no doubt.
The drivers
You'll
have
explain
to.
That as we're racing.
The drivers have to adhere to a speed limit as opposed to following, a box system that tells you sort of where you need to be on track. So it's a bit more open, and it gives us a bit more flexibility with stuff like reverse grid and things.
And sorry to talk shop on the screen, but Adam, this is working really well, mate. To be fair, it's looking pretty good.
It's race 2 where we need to make sure it works properly, where people start dropping back.
Yeah,
of course.
Think,
and we're looking forward to doing our first ever live draw for the reverse grid as well.
It's exciting, isn't it?
It is
more
exciting.
And more stuff.
Exciting. I get to play a bigger part. I'm always looking for a bigger role.
It means no more people trying to stay in 6th place.
That's basically what we've done to try and eradicate, is just to make it really shake it up.
Fight for every position.
Yeah,
absolutely. So we're looking forward to that. I mean, tight at the front there, wasn't it, Adam? Insanely tight.
Yeah, it was very tight at the front. I had the lap time in me. By the time I got to the last 3 corners, it just dropped off. So could have been pole, maybe a little bit closer than it was. But I'm happy, 4th place.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the main thing is you got to finish, haven't you? We saw that even in Tuesday's shorter races.
Exactly.
If you don't finish, it's pointless. You can qualify first. There's no point if you're going to crash in the first corner. So keeping it clean is the most important thing.
Yeah.
I think you're right. It's there's going to be crashes here. It's wet, it's spray, it's a fast track. There's going to be some off. So if you can keep it on the black stuff, as we say every week. You just look at Alan last week. You don't think he overtook anyone in anger around Mount Panorama. Literally kept it clean. Was not racing, and he gained 12 places. It's just the epitome of keeping it clean and just looking after yourself.
Yeah. Right, cheers, boys.
You have to finish. All right, see you later, boys.
We're gonna have to run. We've been chatting too much. I'll catch you in a bit.
We wish our drivers, as always, the best of luck. We'll head up to Helicam, and what we'll do is we'll keep the onboards, and I'll watch the Helicam. If you boys can sort of watch the onboards that we've got on screen there, and tell me if anybody crashes into anyone. hopefully not. But there we go. We got a green light. It's first flat to the floor, and away we go down towards the first corner. You can see Scott got a great start there. Adam Scott out in front, and he's already got a bit of space, pretty close between Foster and Kingston in the background. But Reed has overtaken Kingston, much better exit out of the first corner, and he goes up through Eau Rouge in 2nd place now. Kingston down to 3rd. Wellborn with a fantastic start, scored himself up ahead of Foster. He's up to 4th place now. Foster down to 5th, then Mooney in 6th. Birkhouse is there in 7th. Balsili in 8th. And now down to 9th, sorry. Morris up there, and I almost said Dugdale then, because his name's Luke. Barnard rounding out the top 10 for us there. Miller's one of our featured drivers there, currently in 11th position. So back to the front then. Scott has got himself a bit of a gap already, 2 seconds away out in front. And Lloyd Reed just trying to keep that gaggle of fast cars behind him. But that's not going to be a simple task. Let's go back to the standard screen, open things up a bit so we can see a bit more of what is going on. So Scott then with a 2-second lead ahead of Reed. Kingston breathing down his neck, but these guys need to take their time. And although it's sprint races, there's not as much time to make up for things, as we've said, in these conditions you need to keep it clean. Oh, there's somebody's gone round in the background there. Richard Arnold has gone around. We'll just take a look at the replay and see what happened there. So he's been followed here by Evans. So you can see it's all very, very close, and this is exactly the type of thing we were talking about, keeping it nice and clean. Evans just taking a look up the inside. Oh no, it
Oh, it's
wasn't
been
Evans.
tapped.
It wasn't Evans. I apologise.
No.
I assumed because Evans was the car behind him, it was Evans, but it was actually Bart Tonk. So I do apologise, Evans. I blamed you for something you did not do. I was basically a Max Verstappen fan talking about Lewis then. Blaming him for something he didn't do. Barnard's had a little bit of an off as well. So let's again take a quick look at replay. See, he just lost it going through Faux Rouge. We've managed to do that. Probably won't have too much damage from that though, which is a good thing. But not a nice place to lose the back end. But funnily enough, exactly what you were talking about, Aaron, in the pre-show.
Yeah, it's just so sketchy. If you're in the wrong gear, the torque of the car can actually end up sending you around. And if you've not got your traction control set right, and if you haven't got your traction control 2 set into the right cutout point, it can really, really, really screw you. Yeah. And unfortunately, that's what's happened to the Ferrari.
So we've already, unfortunately, got 4 cars in the pits. Davis, Barnard, Weavers and Prescott have all retired to the pits. So they must have had terminal damage pretty early on. Foster and Reed having a good old ding-dong here. And
Adam likes it around on those lines there.
He does.
We were talking about the mid-corners. He's very comfortable there.
He does. That's exactly where he battered me on Tuesday. So, yeah. He did. Let's just take a look at the replay because it did show that he was ahead for very briefly. So yeah, this is where he took the dive then down the inside. Adam Scott setting a 151.9 fastest lap, and they were side by side then as we saw all through this twisty section towards the end of the lap. Absolutely fantastic racing from those guys, and. Yeah, great stuff. But we didn't see what happened to Reed because he's no longer. Sorry, I pressed the wrong button. He's no longer in second place. So while we were watching other things, Reed has dropped down to 4th. So Andrew Wellborn on debut up in 3rd and challenging Alex Kingston for 2nd. Kingston still hasn't closed that gap down to Scott out in front as well. So. Morris has had an off. Let's see what's happened here to Morris. So Yuri comes through the chicane and he just hits the curb too much, and that was it really.
I did that an embarrassing amount on Tuesday.
Yeah, it's easily done. I did it once, but I just managed to catch it and didn't quite bin it. So, I do.
It's quite easy to do it in that type of car, isn't it? That we drive, the Porsche and the McLaren, with the way that the engine's situated in the car.
Yeah, absolutely it is. Just checking, all those guys are still in the pit. Kevin DeHaan now in the pits as well. A lot of people retiring to the pits from this race very early on, which is a shame. Artist showing as a yellow flag. I can't see him on stream. Let's pop over to Artist's stream and see. Oh, he's facing the wrong way, which is not particularly what you want to be doing. You can see Foster there still fighting away with Reed. So let us get back to that battle. And we can watch Adams on board while we watch the live action. The onboard, of course, is a little bit behind. It is about 4 or 5 seconds behind from what I can see. Well, not even that actually, probably about 2 seconds. But nice and close between these two now. There's a couple of other battles on track as well. We'll keep an eye on Simpson battling with Stevens and Tonks battling with Evans. So we'll keep an eye on that while we watch Adam Foster trying to battle his way back up to 4th and the place where he started. He's certainly got the confidence in these conditions, hasn't he, Luke, to really attack, and he doesn't seem to be holding back.
Definitely, it seems like he's very much adapted to the rain, confident enough to get that close in the rain as well.
Yeah.
So it's one again. I think it's practice again. He's so comfortable with how the car drives, how it feels. He can put that extra bit of faith into the car and into himself as well, knowing that he's comfortable doing what he's doing.
Absolutely. So
Kudos.
We'll
Kudos to Lloyd.
What, for keeping him behind? You mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got the Foster Reed battle on the stream there for you, but we just thought I would pop to the Bartonks Josh Evans battle, which is heating up. Wales versus Holland. Usually we get battered about 9-0 when that happens, but this week it's okay. It's just two drivers driving around a pretend race circuit on a game. So
Maybe
all
better
good.
duo.
Even better. Tonks is two and a throw in from the back of Evans. He was pretty close, but he doesn't appear to be making the progress he would like. We would like to see an overtake, but this one's looking proper close as well. So you got Simpson versus Stevens. McLaren versus McLaren. These two guys have been with the league a good while now, and you can see Rich Arnold there after his unfortunate tap-in that he received early on, trying to follow these guys and make his way back up the grid. So yeah, it's all happening out there. Oh, are we going to see an overtake? Oh, he's being brave. He's going side by side through Faux Rouge. And up they go and through. What an overtake that was from Simpson. Let us just take another look at that as a replay, because that was absolutely fantastic. Side by side through Faux Rouge. And up and through he goes.
Foster and Reed have just gone into Young. Just quickly.
Oh, I think there must have been contact. There must have been contact. We'll go to that in a moment. Bear with us. We'll just go to Reed and go back 30 seconds. Okay, so here's Foster. Reed was a bit attentive through the chicane there. What do we think this is going to be?
Oh, I'm nervous. Oh, it's a cutback. It's a cutback and it's going to go wrong. Oh, no.
Road blocked.
Oh, man. It's so easy to do that, though. And that, do you think that's a little bit of desperation of trying to get the overtake done and being a little bit impatient? Or do you think that's just a genuine mistake?
I think part of it will be slightly impatience, but I don't think there's anything wrong with it in the same
No.
I think he's done the attempt to go in, let's give it a go, but I think it's 50-50 that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that's a shame. That's a big shame, because that was a good battle, that as well.
Yeah, it certainly was. Bit of a shame, but there we go. It is what it is, and it's not what it's not. But we'll just pop back to that screen there. Let's pop back onto Bart Tonks, who's attacking the back of Evans again. Unable to make an overtake stick as of yet. Evans doing a fantastic job in his second race with the league of keeping him behind. So let's just go back to normal action, as the two drivers we're following aren't particularly close to anybody at the moment. So let's leave them to it and let's get back to some action here. So Rich Arnold getting pretty close now to the back of Simpson. He has overtaken Stevens at some point. Apologies, we've missed that. But he has managed to get himself up into 13th, and now he's chasing after Simpson for 12th.
Suppose you never know with the reverse grid random draw, someone like Adam there, who's kind of been goosed in his battle, could end up benefiting from a slight beneficial draw. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, you never know. So basically, the way it will work is anything, just to explain guys at home, it used to be the top 5 drivers couldn't qualify for race 2. That is still the case. But then any number between 0 and 5 extra drivers, up from 6th to 10th, via a random number generator, which will say either 6, 7, 8, 9 or 10, will also not be able to qualify. So as we were saying pre-show, another fast slap there from Adam Scott, and then Kingston beats it almost immediately. Basically it stops people thinking, oh well, I'll just finish 6th and then I can qualify for race 2, because you don't know. That might be the case, but it also might not, because it is completely random from 6th place down to 10th of how many of those drivers will be forced to start from the back. As we see live there, Richard Arnold with a much better entry into and exit into the last corner, and into the first corner he goes up into 12th position. Nice PDF overtake there, Doug.
Textbook PDF.
Textbook PDF. We love it.
Yeah.
So,
Zip folder.
yeah, Shane, he had that contact early on, or I think he'd be comfortably in the top 10 at the moment. But yes, you're right. I mean, if Foster stays where he is and the top 10 end up having a reverse grid, then Foster could benefit for the next race. But having had a stinker of a race in the first week, I'm sure he'll want to avoid having too
Stevens is round.
many more bad ones, because he's got a championship to contend for. So this was Stevens, just got too much curb going through the chicane,
Tokyo style.
and he basically took it Aaron Markham style.
Yeah, basically. Tried and tested technique not to use at your local track. This is a spicy battle. This was brewing when Lloyd fell behind Wes due to the contact. You could see he was pretty close. I was surprised that he's still behind him, actually, but just shows how quick Wes is and how quick Lloyd's become, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely it does, and it's great to see. I know we've said it before, but it's absolutely brilliant just to see the development of the drivers and seeing how well some of them have really improved to such a great level, particularly Lloyd. You've got to say, he's just got better and better and better, and massive respect to him.
It sounds cheesy, doesn't it? But it kind of makes it feel like it's doable for anyone. And I mean, like, I don't like to put people on like that high of a podium to say that they're so good, like boosting ego. But being real, these guys are unbelievable. And to have someone who I feel like I'm a Lloyd Reed now to this sim come and then end up challenging these guys, it just feels a bit surreal.
It
You
does.
could do anything if you put your mind to it.
Yeah.
That's a Back to the Future quote there from Luke Doug there. But no, it's so true, and it's absolutely great to see somebody new come in. So often you see, particularly with established sim racing leagues, that people come in and they race and they can't get anywhere near the front, and then they never improve, or they quit, or whatever. It's been fantastic. I mean, these guys have created such a good community that people don't tend to leave anyway. They stay because it's such a nice place to be and do their racing. But it is lovely to see people actually improve week in, week out, to the point where they can challenge for victories. So yeah, it is absolutely brilliant to see. Just keeping an eye on this one, as the gap is down to a second now. So Kingston's starting to turn the screw. Still 25 minutes of this race left, but Scott sets a fastest lap, so it's nip and tuck between those two. But those lap times are coming down now, like we said, and we can see that dry line with 20 odd cars going around. That dry line is coming up quite quick, but a bit of a mistake there from Kingston. What happened there with him, Aaron? Did he just get a little bit too happy on the throttle?
Do you know what, actually? I don't think it will have been throttle related. If it was anything like it was for me on Tuesday, it's actually hammering the brake too much and the ABS kicking in and pushing you wide of the apex. I found that braking lighter and earlier actually allowed me to get a better bite into the corner, and I'll shut my mouth because Lloyd Reed is about to go around the outside of Wes Beakhouse. My word, what
Wow.
a move!
I mean, that was
unbelievable.
That was so close. We're going to take a look at that as a replay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go onto the helmet cam. No, I'm not. I'm going to go onto the front splitter of Wes Beakhouse, because I want to see just how close that was. So this is Wes Beakhouse's front splitter. Lloyd Reed is there somewhere at the moment, and wow, there he is all of a sudden in front. Absolutely brilliant.
Oh my god.
Brilliant racing.
Insane.
That was
Balls of
absolutely
steel.
brilliant. But there we go. Our man of the hour, Lloyd Reed, showing just how much quality he's gained over
Look at Scott
the time.
Balsaley as well in the background.
Yeah, Scott catching. He looks really comfortable in that Honda. Really, really good. So glad to see him battling away for position. And of course, his team, Baltec Motorsport, are currently leading the team's championship, so every point matters. Granted, we've only had one round, but you know. Adam Scott with a 51.5, and that is just how dry that line is getting now. That they're able to do quali times, you know, less than halfway through the race. So let's take a look through the field. Wes does appear to be struggling, man. I mean, Balsillie really catching up to Wes, unable to keep up with him. So Foster has got past Rich Arnold, so he's back up into the top 10 now. Just looking for any other battles. Unfortunately, Weavers and Barnard are still in the pits, and therefore I'm assuming the issues are terminal, and they will hopefully be back for. Are they still in the? Yeah, they're still in the lobby, so hopefully they'll remain for race 2 and have another crack at it. Alan Davis currently down in last. He was also in the pits for 3 minutes, I think it is. No, 6 minutes. He was in the pits for. So, yeah, there was clearly a big issue with him. Well, Humphreys has got a yellow and white flashing up. Let's just pop back and see if we can see anything. Oh, I think he's just pulling over to let the leaders by. That's all it was. But it flashed up with a flag, but there was no flag. He was just being a kind soul and letting the leaders through on blue flags. But it's mad to think that we've got cars being lapped in these conditions in a sprint race, but clearly the drivers who've had issues and had to make pit stops having to get themselves out of the way. So Stephen Baker on debut, we haven't covered him yet, so he is currently down in 16th and the last of the cars who has not yet made a pit stop, but making his debut here, number 975 BMW. So Dan Stevens in 15th now. Morris, who fought his way up and did quite well, but he had that spin early on and he's had a couple of issues, so he finds himself, he's got decent pace actually doing the 52s, but finds himself down in 14th now. So about a couple of seconds behind Simpson, so he can still gain a couple of more positions if he can get going.
We have had action in the YouTube chat, my friend.
Oh, action.
Ricky Lee Stevens asks, what happened to Heaton? What happened to Heaton?
What happened to Heaton? I don't know.
What happened to Heaton?
Nobody was watching Heaton. God damn it.
There he is. There he is. Yeah, I don't know. He was battling away. I think he was battling away for that sort of 9th place. And judging by the damage on the front of the car, I'm assuming he's had a couple of offs. You can see there's some scratches there. So he's clearly had some offs, but unfortunately we haven't seen what that was. So I do apologise. What number is he again? Number 12. I'm just looking through the incident list. Look, he's not in the incident list, so I don't think anything major has happened. He must have just had a little off all by himself, which is a shame. But there we go. So Millers and Foster, who we've got on stream with the Drives Direct, they're kind of on their own at the moment. But Foster only 4 seconds by Bartonks now, so we'll keep an eye on that. And if that gets a bit closer, we'll jump back on board with Adam to take a look at the action. So still pretty close between these three drivers. You've got Lloyd Reed, who overtook Beerhouse, but he hasn't been able to pull away, has he, Aaron? He's, Beerhouse has managed to stay with him now. Yeah,
it must have been probably a little bit of help from the tour then that's maybe he's kept Lloyd in contention. And maybe that's what's dragging Wes along, just, comparatively. But you probably find that Lloyd's got a tenth or two in terms of pace over Wes, but Wes simply being able to follow him might be just pulling him along a little bit, copying lines, being in the slipstream, all those things do help when you're looking for pace. But yeah, like you say, not dropped him and not really pulled away from Scott either, so all three of these creeping onto the back of Michael Mooney who I'm sure will be having a cheeky glance in his rearview mirrors. He's no slouch, but I think he senses maybe that he could be under pressure in the next few laps. There's only best part of 18 minutes to go, so we're at the halfway point. It's just a case of kind of hold on, I suppose, that Michael's going to be asking himself.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, so what we got, a 4-car battle for 4th position coming up, Doug. I mean,
Yeah.
it looks like it's going to be an interesting end to the race. I mean, if these guys can all keep battling all the way to the end, we're going to have some exciting action.
Well, I think it's all going to come closer and closer. It's all going to develop, as you said, towards the end. Who do you think will come out on top out of all of it?
I mean, on form, you know, getting tapped by Foster's side, you'd have to put your money on Lloyd Reed at the moment. I think he's on top form, absolute top form at the moment.
I would agree with that. To be fair, he does look on fire tonight. To be fair, I'm not saying he didn't look like lively the other nights, but I think tonight looks really lively and really eager to move up the grid.
There's been a little bit of an overtake here from Graham Morris, overtaking Ben Simpson, McLaren on McLaren. Of course, he didn't want to show it to us. He wanted to show us a random bit of the circuit with no cars on. But there we go. We got there in the end, and that was Morris getting the overtake done there a little bit before while we were talking through the action. Josh Evans doing a stellar job on his second race with the league. Had a really good race around Bathurst and doing well here in difficult conditions as well. Finding himself comfortably in the top 10 and not too far behind that battle we were just talking about. Balseeley, I think, has had a bit of an off because he's now 4 seconds behind as opposed to being about a second and a half. So I think he's had a little bit of an issue, but that's probably piqued Evans' interest now because he can see the back of Balseeley, so he'll start to think, I'll keep an eye on that because one mistake or two and he'll be on the back of him. No other major battles that I can see on circuit at the moment, so it is still 15 minutes to go, so plenty of time. So just keeping an eye on this 3-way battle for 4th position now. Oh, big mistake for Reed.
No. What a save.
Oh, what did he do wrong there, do you think?
He was too aggressive, took too much speed into that corner. He was in the right braking zone, but kind of slowed it down enough, and I could tell. I was about to say he's going to hit the wall, and then I didn't have time to swallow my water. You could tell by the position of the car on the dry line. It was just ever so slightly off track, and I thought, yep, he's going to hit the wall. He's going to hit the wall, and somehow, by some miracle, he's managed to keep in front of Wes. But I think Mr. Mooney might be breathing a sigh of relief.
Let us go back and take a look at that on board with Reed. So, oh no, it's not gone back far enough. Oh, that's a shame.
Boo!
I wanted to see what caused it, but it's not gone back far enough, which is a bit of a shame. But there we go. So never mind. Maybe next time. So I'll just turn that replay off there. So it's still Mooney versus Reed versus Bakehouse, despite that issue with Reed. He still is right in the fight. So probably should be battling for the lead, in fairness, if it hadn't been for the incident earlier on. You can see Foster getting closer to Tonks now as well, so we'll just pop the dual screen up so that way we can keep an eye on Foster's battle with Tonks at the same time. You can see Miller's ahead there as well. Miller's pretty much driving around on his own at the moment. So
showing slow cars for Dehaan and Humphreys, unless that's just a bug in the system.
It's probably them being lapped again, I would imagine.
Ah, okay. Excuse me. Ah, yes, you're right. I can see it there actually on screen.
So I'm just going to turn Miller's stream off there just to give us a bit more to play with, and just leave Foster's up there. Miller's not battling with anybody at the moment, so just turn his
He
off.
might have a run up the hill, Mike. Adam might have a run up this hill. For Rouge.
Might well do.
It's very close.
Maybe into the chicane. Let's jump on with Foster then. You can see the onboard as well. Is he going to be late enough on the brakes into the chicane? Is he going to be brave enough? He has to dip back in.
He's no Lloyd Reed.
I mean, that was an insane move. Absolutely insane. You've got to have balls like the Hulk to make that move, that's for damn sure. But he just dives back in. So Reed getting pretty close to the back of Mooney as well now. So this is all getting interesting. What we got, 12 minutes left, still plenty of time for action. I wonder if Foster's going to get it done here. This is where he likes to get moves done. Down the inside later on the brakes, he'll just cadence brake and lift off just to give him a bit of momentum and carry the speed through the corner. So he'll be round the outside here. Is he going to try the switchback maybe? He does.
Don't think it'll work.
Oh no, he knows he doesn't have enough straight to really pull that off. But a great entertaining racing.
Bit of understeer there as well. I wonder if he just lit it up a little bit with the traction control. I struggled with that when I was trying to square off the corner. It was quite easy to go light. You can see I'm watching the YouTube stream alongside the actual stream. So I'm effectively got a 30-second replay for free. And you could just see there he lost it a little bit on traction.
Yeah. Well, that's good. You're using the technology to the best of your ability, and Foster has got it done now, as you see.
Oh, nice.
He's got it done because Tonks went wide. So let's just take a look at the replay. Let's go back. So Foster pressuring Tonks into the first corner, and I think it just caught Tonks' eye, and then Tonks runs wide. And then it ends up being a nice, simple overtake for Foster. Oh,
wow.
A little bit dangerous coming back on track in that manner, I would say. Not to get anyone in trouble or anything, but certainly not the safest way to do that reapproach, I don't think, was it, Doug?
No, I don't. Yeah, I think if you was Adam, you would be too impressed with him down back across like that.
But
I sense
no harm,
a
no
change
foul.
of clothes in the underwear variety for Adam Foster there.
Unless he had the right idea and wore the brown trousers.
Oh, I see. Who knows? Find out in the interviews tonight.
So, did you wear the brown trousers today?
I dare one of you to ask in the interview questions, what trousers are you wearing?
Are we playing Truth or Dare now, are we?
It's gone rogue now, hasn't it?
We're done with dad
Find
jokes,
us
we're
down
on to
with a
Truth or Dare now. Brilliant.
I tell you what, guys, if Lloyd hadn't
There's a proper
his-
close for the lead all of a sudden. Sorry to interrupt you there. I just noticed how close it is for the lead. I think Scott must have made a mistake. Suddenly Kingston went from being a second behind to nothing behind. And it's proper close for the lead, but it's okay. It's settled back in now. Sorry, what were you going to say, Aaron?
Oh, I was just going to say, I think if Lloyd hadn't made his mistake earlier on, he'd be past Michael by now. He's caught back up to the back of the Honda. It looks very tight.
He has, and it is proper close. And we're keeping an eye on that battle for fourth, as well as this battle for the lead. And Kingston suddenly looking like he might have a shot, but that must have been a mistake from Scott, you'd assume, going up Faux Rouge, because it was going into the chicane where he really caught up to the back of him. But he seems to
It'll
have
either be
settled
there,
down.
won't it, or the first corner where
Yeah.
you can run wide.
Yeah, absolutely. But he seems to have settled back down now, and that gap's sort of steadying at around about half a second. But we'll
Yeah.
stick with it just for the moment, just to see if anything transpires.
Such a nice Ferrari livery on that.
Yeah, it's a Fiat Abarth Ferrari, a Fiat Abarth livery, very, very nice.
With the Modena yellow as well.
I just wanted to jump on board with Kingston for a sec, just see how bad spray is for these guys. Luckily, it's not insanely wet, so spray isn't too much of an issue, as you can see when me and Aaron experienced this.
Oh, he's wide again.
He is wide again. He is wide again. You're right. And we experienced this spray on Tuesday, and it was like this. It's not too bad, but this is where Scott could be in trouble now. It looks like he's made the same mistake 2 laps in a row, and this is going to be it unless Scott can be insanely late on the brakes, which he's going to try to be to fight for the lead, and he forces Kingston to hit the brakes.
My God.
And they're side by side through there. Oh, that was proper exciting stuff. Really, really close.
I can't believe how close that was. That should have been a done deal for the Mercedes. And somehow Scott just kept it in there. Wow, bravery of the tallest of orders.
Just taking a look at the mistake from Scott that led to that, and then he followed him all the way down the straight, but could not get the overtake done. But there we go. That is back to that. Okay, proper close between these 3 as well. So we're keeping an eye on all these battles as we go, and proper close between these 3 drivers as well.
Ooh, I thought there was going to be contact there.
It's the wrong Honda, Reed. If you're looking for a payback, it's the wrong Honda.
Oh man, I tell you what, it's so what's the word I'm looking for? It's so inviting to try and just lunge somebody when you're that close, or when you feel like you're that much quicker, and it's just so tempting. But with 6 minutes to go, I just wonder if these guys might hold station.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, it's better to finish 4th than spin out and end up 12th or something. So
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I see your point. I mean, hopefully for the entertainment factor, they'll have a good go at it. But
we pray.
Every point matters. Every point matters. So we will see. We will see. But Reed sort of struggling for a couple of corners then after being really close, and is now within the clutches of Bakehouse. So it's to-ing and fro-ing all over the place here.
There's the second battle again, potentially. I can see it's in red. Don't know how close it is.
It is 0.3 seconds, so Kingston's definitely got a bit between his teeth at the moment.
He's able to.
That's what I was going to ask. Can you
lines.
see any difference between their driving, which is causing this? So, and then you beat me to it. You read my thoughts.
I'm just watching on corner exits, which seems to be where he's a lot more comfortable. They're taking very similar lines into the corner, but Kingston's able to square off the car. You can see how he takes a wider line. It's not quite worked there, but in a couple of the other corners, he was squaring it off. You can see again here a wider approach. It just means that you end up catching the car better at the end of the straight rather than in the braking zone. And ultimately, he's running wide. Scott is under so much pressure, but in a corner like turn 1, which you end up taking flat all the way to the chicane, squaring off and having a later apex can gain you 1, 2, 3 tenths all the way down that straight, and sometimes that's all you need to put the move on someone.
Yeah, absolutely. Kingston's just had to back off a little bit now, so we'll just pop back to the battle for 4th.
How close is this?
Oh, weaving down the straights, maybe to cool their tyres, or maybe just to get a slipstream. Who knows at this point? But there's definitely quite a defined dry line there now from lots of drivers going wide into that turn 1. It's the penultimate corner of turn 1, isn't it? But they've got to be careful of track limits as well, because if they gain an advantage, they'll get a drive-through penalty before they know it.
Yeah, definitely. Weirdly enough, I didn't get any advantage from running wide. You could take a lot of curb, and the game wouldn't ping you for track limits until you were way out of contention anyway, at which point you were losing half a second or a second down the straight.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know how I feel about this though. I mean, we predicted Lloyd finishing in front of Michael, and at this stage, if anything, it looks like Wes is going to finish in front of Lloyd. How the turntables?
Indeed. But yeah, I think Mooney's just got more and more comfortable with the car and the conditions, isn't he, as the race has gone on. But yeah, they're matching each other all for lap time, but obviously that's pretty much because they're all so close together, I guess. But I mean, I definitely, the two guys behind are definitely quicker than Mooney, but not quick enough to make an overtake. So, you know,
No.
it's one thing to catch, it's a very different thing to overtake, as Martin Brundle has said many times.
Kingston with a 51.4. How fast is that?
Yeah, it is crazy levels of fast, especially in these conditions. I mean, I was only doing 57s in the dry, which is quite scary, really, just how quick these guys are. So Kingston right up to the back again, and again it looks like it was a mistake through the first couple of corners, because as they go into the chicane, it's where Kingston has managed to catch up again. But again, it's another case of being able to catch but not being able to overtake. Reed proper close now as well. Oh. He's done it before.
He's going to take another brain move.
Is he going to do it again? He's going to try. No, he's thought better of it. He dips in behind the Honda this time around. So back to the battle for the lead. Well, Foster's up to the back of Josh Evans as well. So we'll just keep an eye on that battle. So we'll pop back to this battle while we watch the Foster battle on Foster's stream.
Oh my word, this is going to be close. 1 minute to go. One more lap for these boys. This is going to be tense. Hold on to your seats.
Interestingly, Evans is only a second and a half behind Balseeley, and then Foster's half a second behind Evans. So Foster got a sight at 7th position here after being down in 12th at one point after that incident early on with Reed. So 2 battles to watch, and we're watching them both. Adam Scott sets the fastest lap of the race, and he is now on the final lap. So he's got one more lap just to hold out and keep his head. Oh, we see Reed trying to go around the outside of the penultimate corner. He runs a little bit wide. I don't know if it's going to ping him for that. He's later on the brake stem on the inside line into turn. Final turn. Oh, and he just Mooney just kisses them all, and that's going to give.
Trying to follow through.
Yeah, Beerkaus following through. Then you can see the battle. The other battle we're watching is just in the background of the shot there.
Mooney back up the inside.
Mooney back up the inside of Beerkaus. Absolutely fancy. Beerkaus being forced wide there, and Beerkaus down to 6th. Reed up to 4th. Mooney in a net 5th in the end. Absolutely brilliant. So we'll keep an eye. Beerkaus has got the run, I think. Beerkaus with the run then down into him. Also watching the Foster battle with Evans. He looks like he's got the momentum on Evans. They're just a couple of seconds behind these guys down the straight, and Beerkaus can't quite make the move stick. Foster also not got enough momentum, probably carrying a bit of damage as well. Foster really late on the brakes in the background there, and he's hit the barrier. Foster's hit the barrier. You can see on the stream there, he was too late on the brakes trying to make the move on Evans. And he goes off, and we're still watching both battles. But Foster just got it wrong, and that has completely ruined his evening for race 1 at least. And he's now down in 10th position, and such a shame for him. So Scott can't be far off finishing. There he is, just about to cross the line. Adam Scott taking his maiden victory for Final Drive Sim Racing, challenged all the way by Alex Kingston, but a fantastic finish for Scott. Kingston in 2nd. A word we've not really had a chance to speak about, because he's literally just been in no man's land on his own. But a fantastic 3rd position on debut for Andrew Wellburn. Lloyd Reed coming home in 4th. Michael Mooney looks like he's going to keep hold of 5th position, which he does. Wes Beerkaus in 6th. Scott Balseeley in 7th. Josh Evans in 8th position. Again, another good finish from him. He's having a great debut season, finding his feet with this league. Bartonks in 9th. Adam Foster will be coming home in 10th position. Look at the damage on that Honda, is absolutely battered. It's worse than my Civic. And that takes some doing, let me tell you. So yeah, Foster coming home then in 10th, rounding out the top 10. Matt Heaton is going to come home in 11th, just from Morris on the line then. I didn't realise how close Morris had got to him, but Morris finding his feet and getting quicker as the race went on. But Heaton comes home in 11th, Morris in 12th, Simpson is going to come home in 13th, Richard Arnold in 14th, and Dan Stevens has already finished in 15th, Dehaan in 16th, Humphreys in 17th, Millers in 18th, Tickner in 19th, Baker in 20th, Davis, Prescott, Barnard and Weavers. So that is it. So we are now going to do our reverse grid draw. So that number you see on screen there isn't the number that we're going to take. So it will generate random numbers and then it will stop on a number. So what we're going to see now is what number that is. So let's take a look at what number of random reverse grid are not allowed to qualify. So top 5 for definite can't. How many more up to the 10th place can't? So let us take a look what number it ends up on as we go through here. And it is going to stop at some point, I'm sure, and it stops on 7. So the top 7 cannot qualify for the next race. Have we got a driver in with us who can relay that message?
I'm here. That's fine. I've got it.
There we go. Top 7 cannot qualify for the next race. So there you go. Our first ever live draw, boys. How exciting was that? It's like the Champions League draw. Absolutely brilliant. No, well, there we are. We've done our bit and had a bit of fun. But yeah, reverse grid generator. So the top 5 can't qualify always. So it's any number then between 5 and 10 who can't qualify, and it's 7. So the top 7 can't qualify for this race. So that's down to Scott Balseeley. So everybody from Evans down can qualify. That's great news for Foster. Great news for Barnard. Great news for Kevin Dehaan and a couple of others who just didn't particularly have a great race one, so it gives them the opportunity to go out and do it again. So there we go.
Hey
That
mate,
is that.
we have a racer in the chat.
We have a racer in the chat. Oh, that's always good news.
We do.
And who have we got?
We have Mr. Evans.
Mr. Evans. Welcome,
If
Mr.
he's-
Evans.
Hello.
If he's there. Hello.
I am you. I am you.
You are here. I can't see it. Oh, there we are. It's updated now. Apologies. Welcome. Congratulations. That was another good race for me. You had a great debut last week on a really difficult track. Difficult conditions this week, although the track is less tricky. But it's been a bit of a baptism of fire for you, hasn't it? This first couple of races. But how are you finding the league so far?
It's fun. It is very fun. I didn't know this race was on. I thought it was on next week, and
Green light, go, go, go.
I only knew it was on because my mum actually got a notification from the YouTube channel on her phone, so I had to run to my PC and start the game.
Well, there we are. There's a story for you folks. Turn on your notifications for our YouTube channel because it makes a difference between winning and losing. But yeah, no, I mean that's a cracking story. Oh, is he had to go? Is he? Is he gone?
He must have.
Yeah,
I think qualifying started, hasn't it?
Ah, okay.
His
But
mum must have turned off the internet.
his mum's told it. His mum's told him to go and qualify and stop talking nonsense to the commentators. But there we go. Nice to see he's enjoying himself and having a good time with us. But yeah, only his second race with us, and
Oh, he's back.
he's back.
He's back.
He's back. So we know you got quality to get on with. So we won't keep you too long, Mr. Evans. But yeah, so.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, great couple of races.
And he's gone again.
He's gone again.
He's back.
And
He's gone. He's back. He's gone.
It's like a game, this one.
It's like a Chuckle Brothers scene.
Are you doing the
Oh.
Okie Kokie by any chance? So yeah, obviously you've got quality to get on with. Where are you hoping to finish in quality now for this session?
I don't really know what's going on. So top 7, are they at the back? Are they?
Top 7 can't qualify, so they'll filter to the back of the grid. So everybody else can qualify in this session now, and put in a lap time.
Ah, okay. Well, I was no way near the fastest in that race, so probably P10 I'd be happy with.
Show them what you got.
Yeah, well, good luck, and we look forward to catching up with you after race 2, and hopefully another top 10 finish for you.
Thank you very much.
Cheers. See you in a bit. Here we go. So, it's nice to speak to different drivers, isn't it, boys?
It is.
Nice, new faces.
Yeah, new names, new faces.
Or new profile pictures, should I say.
Indeed. Sorry, I'm just trying to get my crap together here. There's so much going on. So I just to explain for the people at home, I've got like 3 screens, and I've got stuff on every screen, and it's all just it's all going on here, and I've actually got, I think, 9 programs running to run this stream, just to give you an idea. So it's a bit bonkers, yeah. But here we go. We'll pop on to the one where we've got the extras. We'll put Miller's back on because he'll be out for qualifying now. So let's pop him back on. There he is. He'll be going out for quali now. Foster getting himself warmed up as well. So not a lot of time. These guys basically got, probably 3 laps, I would guess, guys, to get a lap in, and to try and finish on pole position. So it's all going to be happening up there now. What we didn't discuss just while these guys are doing their warm-up lap was driver of race 1. We forgot. So who are we going to say, gentlemen?
Easy for me.
Sorry, having to do the live draw, I got a bit distracted.
I'm going to go with Lloyd Reed after a bit of a drama he had at the start. He had a cracking race and looked very, very lively.
Lloyd
so
Reed?
I have to give it to him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Aaron, any advances on Lloyd Reed?
I was going to go with Wellborn in P3. Kind of had a quiet race, but not bad for a debut.
I'm inclined to agree with you there, Aaron, in that as a debut I thought that was fantastic. I mean, obviously a podium on your debut in how competitive this league is no mean feat, so I'm inclined to agree. So I think it goes to Wellborn on the majority vote there. Sorry, Doug, you've been you are the weakest link. Goodbye. So Wellborn it is. So these guys now just getting through their first lap. Who's furthest through the lap? Foster is. So he's going to be the first to set a lap time, I would imagine. You're also watching his stream there, and Miller's stream while these guys go through it. So he's set purple sector on his out lap. But he hasn't given us a sector time yet for his current lap. So I tell you what, we need to change race gaps, don't we, to quali personal best. No, not personal best delta. What is it? Session relative. There we go. Sorry, so many settings. I need 8 arms and 4 brains, guys. Honestly, it's absolutely bonkers. Yeah, there's so much going on. So many bits of software. Anyway,
some funky numbers on the screen.
Yeah, so that will, once they actually set a lap time, show the relative lap time, like it does in.
I thought you put my phone number in.
For a good time, call Dougie on +264.527.
This is Babe Station.
If you're on Babe Station, there's something definitely wrong with the world. So here we
just something
go.
we don't know about Dougie.
Foster sets bringing the conversation swiftly back to the racing. Foster sets the first time, which is a 52.6. We know he's got a 51, mid 51 in him. So as a first one to set to warm the tyres up, that's not too bad. Stevens with a 55, Morris with a 54. How is Stevens ahead of Morris if Stevens set a slower lap time? That bit, he's not. It's out of order again. I forgot it does this, doesn't it? It puts itself out of order after for race 2 quali, which is a bit of a nightmare. So Dahan currently second, and third place is Heaton at the moment. And they are all over the place, as you can see, because they're in whatever order they went out in, not the order that they are actually qualifying in for whatever reason. It doesn't put them into the proper order because it's crap. But we'll get that sorted, don't worry. So just looking for who else we've got out here. Let's jump on board with Barnard. He had a big accident at the end of race 1, unfortunately. So let's see where he can qualify. I think he qualified 8 on debut for race 1. But let's see what he can achieve now for race 2. And if he can get through the full race, that would be great for him on debut. Really difficult. He literally had his PC delivered yesterday and he's moved up from PlayStation, so getting all the settings right and getting the feel for it. I mean, you boys have both been there. You know, it's not an easy task. People might just think, oh, well, you're just playing a game on one system to another, but moving up to PC, particularly on ACC, as you can probably both contest to, is no mean feat, is it?
It's a bit of a big void and a bit of an easy chasm to lose yourself in. I will definitely vouch for that. But an enjoyable one, and one that is easily get outable. I suppose what I'm trying to say is it's a bit like diving in the deep end of the pool. You've sank to the bottom, but it's very quick to get back to the top.
Yeah, absolutely. So there is less than a minute to go. Dougie, did you find the same sort of thing when you moved over to PC?
Yeah, apparently I can race on a PS4 reasonably okay, and on a PC I can't. No, joking, but yes, PC you just gotta practice. Obviously, I've tried ACC on PC as well, and God, you are race on race room, and that takes practice. But these guys are a different league compared to race room again.
Yeah.
The amount of hours these must put in to be able to race how we do, it's crazy.
Yeah. It is all happening out there. Foster is currently on provisional pole. Second place is our man Josh Evans at the moment, guy we were speaking to not that long ago. He finds himself currently in second, so great qualifying for him so far. He seemed not confident. He was hoping to just get into the top 10 for quali, so he's doing a stellar job so far. A lot of people struggling out there. Sorry, I'm having to filter through and sort of go through it because people's position isn't relative to the lap time they've set. It's all a bit messed up. Richard Arnold has yet to set lap time and put it in the wall, so that's not good for him. Artis Millers, who you're also watching on stream there, still going through. He's currently in 6th, so doing a great job.
Oh,
Matt Heaton in
bit
3rd.
of a wobble there.
Yeah, a little bit. So
I'll tell you what, Mike. Clenneth Boer is in the chat, and he's said, "Go on, boys," with a few exclamation marks.
I mean,
I love Clenneth.
one more needs to be said other than "go on, boys." We do miss Glen. I'm sure once his work schedule allows, he'll be back on the grid.
Speaks thousands of words.
I thought I lost my internet on for a minute.
I wonder if we've lost Mike.
Well, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
We can't hear you, Mike.
Oh, Mike.
Michael.
Okay. Bear with us, folks. As you can hear, my co-commentators can't hear me. So I'm just going to disconnect, and then I'm going to reconnect. Can you hear me now?
Back.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
We can hear you now.
Yeah, I could hear you guys perfectly fine if it just wasn't working your end for some reason. So.
Okay. Okay.
Gremlins
so
somewhere.
we ruined whatever you were talking about, basically. That's
By talking over you.
Yeah, as usual, you're ruining all my life. Anyway, back to the action. Sorry, just because of that, we didn't get a chance. We have a few technical issues there. Just quickly run through the field. Foster did get pole position. Josh Evans with a fantastic second position. He was only expecting top 10, so I'm sure he's delighted. Out qualifying Kevin DeHaan, who's in 3rd. Matt Heaton with great quality in 4th. Ben Simpson 5th. Morris 6th. Alan Davis and Rich Arnold in 7th and 8th together on the 4th row of the grid. That's great to see them there. Luke Barnard get himself back into the top 10. Hopefully he can have a better race too. Artis Millis rounding out the top 10 there. Damien Humphreys, Bart Tonks, just a couple of examples of drivers just outside that top 10 who've got the potential to be in it, so we'll see how they get on. Rich, how do you find that?
Hello, boys. Yeah, that was a lot better. first race was it was so frustrating. I got a really good start and was having a bit of a battle on the first lap, and Bart came flying as Bart often does, and spun me round and gave me 20 seconds worth of damage and put me back in the back. But look, the damage didn't seem to do a lot. I managed to fight back up to 11th, I think, and then run out of fuel, so I had to pit on the last lap. So
never.
Quick splash and dash, so ended up 14th. But no, the car was really good actually. It's a lot better than what it was in practice. I think the dry line's really helping it. So qualifying pretty happy. Didn't get the full 3 laps in because I made a mistake on the first one. But yeah, hoping we can do stuff from here. It's a good position to be in.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty going to be going on in this one. Obviously, we've got this new system, more people towards the back, people correctly out of position as well with this new system, the way it works. So, expecting an exciting race. It's a short dash, isn't it? 20 minutes. They don't last long, as we saw on Tuesday's races. So, no time for error.
No, not at all. And look, we're really excited as the admin team to try this new system out, because we always knew that the previous reverse grid system was slightly flawed, because it would never put the people at the back in the right order, and there was no way we can do with it. So we're hoping this works, because this could actually be a proper reverse grid system, which is what this league's screaming for. So if this does work and it all works out right, with a number generator adds a bit of excitement as well. Really happy for this new setup if it goes off without a hitch. And yeah, like you say, 20 minutes around here is not going to last long. It's a very quick track. Few people out of position. Adam up the front, I think, is probably going to have the money on him, but everyone else, I mean, it's anyone's race, really is.
Yeah. Well, good luck. Keep it clean, and we look forward to seeing you on the podium in about 20 minutes' time.
Oh, now you've said it. Right, cheers, boys. See you in a bit.
Take it easy, mate. Have a good one. Any other drivers in there, boys?
There's no other drivers.
No, that's fine. No. Sorry, I can't see that screen at the moment, so that's fine. Just checking in. And
Clenneth has messaged a bit more in the chat.
Yeah, take us through. What's Clenneth Boer saying at the moment?
Clenneth Boer is saying that he is really good, and he's taking it quite easy at the minute. And he's just on YouTube for some FDSR racing, and he said the grid is nice and full.
It is. We got 24 drivers out there. We got some new, some old. Something borrowed, something blue. We've got a bit of everything. But it is all happening today. This is such a hectic track. Hard to overtake, but easy to follow. So it gives you that. You're waiting for the jeopardy, I guess, aren't you, Doug, in this sort of track? When it's hard to overtake, but easy to follow, you get that close action all the way through.
Yeah, I think I was... Oh, sorry.
No,
cutting you off
fine.
first.
No.
I was just going to say, just have seen the previous race, you can follow very closely, even like the move Foster and Lloyd when they came together. That was a moving a drive, probably ended up okay, but again, in a wet, added extra kind of factor into it, just didn't make it as easy enough. It came together a little bit and had a bit of a spin.
Yeah, I mean, are you expecting a bit of a shock? I mean, we always say these reverse grids, anything can happen. Are you expecting any shocks today, Aaron?
I don't know. I don't know, Mike.
I guess what I'm trying to say is this isn't the type of track where we saw Dom Ingle fighting through from last to end up on the podium. This isn't the type of tracks and conditions where that can happen. So, are you thinking maybe we might get the odd shock podium or something?
Yeah, I think the top 3 that we've got will be pretty nailed on. The 7 guys not qualifying, it's just going to be so hard for them to come back through. I just can't see it happening in 20 minutes. I can honestly, I think we'll see some overtakes, but we will not see any of the guys reversed on the podium. I think that'll be my prediction for this race.
And much like the touring car league, it'll be who can pick their way through the field and keep it clean and pick up as many points as possible. That will be the big winner, particularly with the championship battle. People like Kingston and Scott need to be able to do it cleanly, if nothing else.
100%, mate. 100%.
It's always nice to be agreed with. It's good for your ego. Good for
I'm
your
just
ego.
laughing at Gleneth. He's just put Luke in full capitals.
He's finally got his PC, Clenneth. He's finally got his PC. He had it delivered yesterday, and he's already in the race. That's how committed he is, which is fantastic to say, but a difficult task for him, no doubt. So let's move over to the screen just so we can see Foster's on board going into turn 1. We can see Miller's as well. We'll be right back in the middle of the pack. He's in 10th position at the moment. There we go. We got a green light. It's flat to the floor, and away they go down to the first corner. Here we go. The last race of the day. 20-minute sprint race. Nice and easy for Foster down into turn 1. But he runs well wide, and Josh Evans is going to be up into the lead, and Foster under pressure from Dehaan as well. There's been contact between Morris and Davis in the background. Hopefully nothing too sinister. They look okay. Luke Barnett's managed to make his way up into 7th position. Sorry, the positions are all jumping around and changing around all over the place, so I don't know who's where at the moment, but it's all over the place. But Foster with a huge mistake into the first turn, and I never mind commentator's curse. It was a Richard Arnold curse, because Richard Arnold said that the Flash was going to run away with it, and he has not run away with it, unfortunately. He is in 2nd position with Josh Evans out in front. So Foster in 2nd now, Kevin Dehaan in 3rd. I think it's all sorted itself out.
Rich Arnold dropped down to 13th.
Matt Heaton in 4th. Yeah, Rich Arnold dropping down and down the order. Graham Morris then in 5th. Davis in 6th, followed closely by Barnard in 7th. Miller's in 8th. Damien Humphries in 9th. His teammate and brother missing tonight. And Bart Tonks is currently in 10th. That rounds out the top 10. How are the other guys getting on? Adam Scott's up to 17th. Kingston in 16th as it stands. Wellborn in 20th. Just keeping an eye on those guys who are battling their way through. Wellborn has just made an overtake, I think, so we'll just take a look at the replay and see if we can see how he got that done. So here he is battling away with Stephen Baker. And pretty simple, just down the inside. Was that a PDF, boys? Or?
It's as PDF as it gets.
Yeah.
All good.
If you've got any more basic, it could be a corrupted file.
Whoa!
Oh, he's getting technical. He's getting technical. So here we go, back to the live action. So Foster, as you can see, getting pretty close to Evans now, but he's got a fight on his hands. Evans is not going to make this easy, and Evans showed he's got plenty of quality in these first couple of races so far this season. So can Evans hold on to it and take a maiden victory, or have I just commentator cursed him straight into a wall? Who knows? Kevin Dehaan has dropped off the back of these two, so I think that shows how good Evans' pace is. Actually, he's dragging Foster along, but Dehaan not able to keep pace with him. Heaton doing a great job in 4th at the moment, and a lot of pressure from Morris. The field all pretty close together. Davis and Barnard still close together. Then Artis, Miller's, who is also on stream there. You can see plenty of action for you guys to watch with 3 bits of live action there. Damien Humphries then following those guys through. He drove pretty well on Tuesday, but he didn't have the best race one, but I'm sure you'll be hoping for a better one now. But Bartonks putting pressure on him at the moment, and keeping an eye on the guys at the back. Lloyd Reed currently in 15th, but it's pretty close, so I'm just keeping an eye out for any overtakes. Bartonks currently rounding out the top 10. Richard Arnold, Tickner has just gone off, so I'm not sure if that is a crash for Tickner. Let us just take a look at the replay and see what happened here. Here's Tickner and Arnold. Arnold a little bit later on the brakes. So Tickner battling away with Stevens. Trying to see where...
Oh, a little bit of a love tap, I think.
Yeah, not intentional, but
No.
yeah, just a little bit of a mess. And well, Evans and Foster have been battling away. Morris up to 4th ahead of Heaton. We've missed that. And Foster and Evans have been battling away as well. So we see Heaton trying to battle his way back now. back up to 4th, but I think Morris has got him covered. And Lloyd Reed, Rich Arnold has got himself up past Stevens. Take a look at the replay for that one. Stevens slow through Faux Rouge. Rich Arnold with much better pace. Looking in good shape. And oh, where did he get the move done then? Oh, there we go.
Oh, right.
That's where Stevens made the mistake in the end, but a mistake forced from pressure. So all good indeed. Keeping an eye on the battles and the gaps. So Luke Barnard in plenty of action. He's got pressure from behind and in front. He's pressuring Alan Davis as well, but I'm sure he's not even looking in his mirrors. He's just looking at the Honda in front of him and looking to try and get past. Alex Kingston's had some contact, according to this. Let's just go back and see what happened there. So this is Kingston, who's just a little love tap there from Tickner that forced him wide. And then they come into the next sequence of corners, still battling side by side. And then Kingston gets up past him into the next position. So back to this battle. You can still see Foster battling away with Evans on your stream there, and Miller's battling away with these guys as well. So this is Lloyd Reed and Balseely are having a bit of a ding-dong as well. Lloyd Reed getting up past Balseely, up through turn 1 and up into Faux Rouge. Great stuff from Lloyd Reed. He's already up to 12th position. And Kingston 15th. Adam Scott down in 17th position at the moment. So we are keeping an eye on all the action, folks, and trying to pick up as many overtakes as we can. Keeping an eye on them. Beerhouse, Scott and Tickner are all pretty close together as well. Kingston battling away with Dan Stevens at the moment, looking to go round the outside. Nice move there, round the outside into the hairpin.
2 trailer park girls.
2 trailer park girls go round the outside.
And that's why you're the singer, baby.
Kingston's back again.
Back again.
So this is Barnard just getting up past Alan Davis. So Davis runs wide through one of the mid-speed hairpins, and Barnard just shoves it through, and the Ferrari then up into 6th place. So looks like he had time to refine his setup during all that action of race 1, from which he retired, and he's having a much better race 2, isn't he, Dougie?
Yeah, definitely. I think he'll be enjoying himself football.
So Davis looks like he's struggling for pace a bit. He's under pressure from Miller's now as well. Adam Scott has got up past Dan Stevens as well. Let's just take a quick look at the replay. I'm not using the replay cover on the stream, guys, just because I want to get as much action covered as possible, and that does take time. So there we go. Scott getting up into 15th. So Foster right behind Evans, as you can see on the stream. Oh, Lloyd Reed's had some an off. Lloyd Reed has had an off.
Oh, there's a moment into Faux Rouge as well.
Yeah, that was
Is that Scott?
It was Adam Scott. Oh, he just got onto the curb, did Lloyd Reed, and that was Scott avoiding the accident. Oh, what a drift! And it looks like he managed to catch it for the most part. But Alan Davis has had an off as well. He's plenty of damage. Artis Millers has had an off, but he finds himself up into 7th now. Oh, Morris has gone round.
Oh, no.
Let's just take a quick look at this one. This is a replay, guys. Like I said, I'm not using the replay cover because I want to get as much action as possible. But,
he just caught himself out.
Yeah, he did. He just got it wrong. It's so easy to do, though, isn't it? And get it just a little bit wrong. So people changing positions all over the place. Somebody quite high up has gone round. Oh, yeah, that was Morris. He's fallen right down the order now, so everybody's pretty much made a position. Still got 23 runners out there, only 1 retiree, but Evans still leading from Foster. Absolutely brilliant stuff. Scott Balseely losing out to Kingston. Kingston fighting back, but Balseely keeps the position on the inside. Kingston getting a little bit wide, but he's got good traction out there. Has he got enough to go around the outside again? I think we're just going to have to call him a trailer park girl, because he always goes around the outside, just to steal the joke of my co-commentator there. But Josh Evans has just set the fastest lap of the race with a 152.3, so he's keeping Adam at bay with pure pace. It's not just the fact that he's out in front, he's actually set the fastest lap of the race. So your race leader at the moment is Evans, leading from Foster. You can also see Foster's point of view on your stream there, as well as Miller's point of view as he battles away with Luke Evans for 5th position. Fantastic. Bakehouse has got up past Stevens. Let's just take a quick look at that. Stevens running a little bit wide through turn 1. Bakehouse we almost lost it in the same way that Reed did on the curb there, but he just keeps it good.
I was going to say, Kenneth asked what was up with Wes. We may have just answered that with an overtake there. I don't know if he dropped down the order though.
Well, he started at the back because
he reversed, won't he?
Yeah, because he started at the front, so he would have been down in sort of 20th position at the start. So so that'll be what it was. Richard Arnold up past Kingston according to this. So I don't know what's happened there. Let's pop on with Kingston, pop back 15 seconds and see what's happened. So right, Kingston trying to make the overtake on Arnold. I apologise. Just popped up ahead of him, I think, and then Arnold getting back past him, not making it easy for Kingston, but that's exactly what this reverse grid is all about. Every man for himself. There's so much going on, boys, I can't breathe. Adam Scott has got himself up past Tickner. So again, just taking a look at the replay for that one. This is a replay of how Scott got that move done on Tickner there, and we're going to be heading back to the live action in 3, 2, 1. There we go. Bartonks past Humphreys. Oh, he's just got the move done. That was really close, but he's got it done through the final complex of corners and onto the start finish straight. And Bartonks,
that battle behind him.
It's super close, and I think
Kingston?
Rich Arnold's going to be done by Kingston into the first corner. No, he's not. No. Rich Arnold hanging it around the outside, keeping it there, but Kingston got the inside line off of Faux Rouge, and then Balseely's right there with them as well, keeping his nose directly in the action. But Rich Arnold does lose the position to Kingston, but he made him work for it for nearly a whole lap. And good, solid driving. Just checking on Foster's stream there. Evans still out in front. Only 8 minutes of this race left, so time is running out for these drivers. They've got to make as many positions as possible. Absolutely fantastic action we're seeing here. Alex Kingston now up to 9th, and the lead runner of the cars that started at the back, Lloyd Reed, having that big accident, and Adam Scott's had a couple of incidents himself as well. So Miller's has dropped off the back of Barnard now. So Barnard running
someone pulled off
into
the
clear air. Could have been.
I think it was a Humphreys. It looked like a really pale Audi.
Okay, he's under pressure from Kingston now, so we'll actually stick with it, whether it was him or not. I don't care, because we've got some action to watch. Yeah, he's under proper pressure now. Kingston going to be way later on the brakes into this right-hander, and Humphreys hangs it around the outside, but that is game over. Kingston up into 8th position. Sorry, was you going to say something?
No, actually. I suppose I could say something though. We've had about 9 people watching the stream tonight, got plenty of likes as well, and Ash Humphreys has kindly joined the comments now in chat. Welcome here. Good evening, Ash. Hope you're okay.
Evening, Ash. Yeah, I hope you are all right. And sorry you can't be in the lobby today. And it was fun racing against you and forcing you wide a few times on Tuesday. But you had me in the end. Due to my complete distinct lack of talent. Just watching a replay of Wellborn making his way through the grid there. Like I said, just to reiterate, guys, I'm not using the replay cover overlay, just because I've got so much going on. I want to keep an eye on all the action. But just to reiterate, we've got 6 minutes to go. Evans still out in front. Foster unable to make the overtake. Evans has set a fastest lap of a 52 flat at the moment. He's gone faster again. Foster also with a 52 flat, but 400th slower on his fastest lap.
Oh, Mike, I've noticed something. I think the gaps on the timings are for the fastest laps, not for the gaps to the cars.
Oh, they are. They are. You are right. That is exactly what they are. There we go. Apologies.
Look at that orange and red.
That's the problem. Is there's so many. I don't know why. For some reason, the one on the stream as well starts at third place. I don't know if you've noticed it. I don't know why that is, but
Odd.
it starts at. Oh, there we go. It's reset itself. Tidy. Okay, so it does do a few weird and wonderful things. So here we are. Evans still under pressure from Foster. They are going to be 3 laps to go as they cross the line now. So 3 laps for him to hold on to his first maiden victory in only his 3rd race with the league and his 2nd week. What's so funny?
Oh, just the YouTube chat. We've had a message from Craig Denman saying 6 of the watchers are Josh Evans' family. I'm his dad, by the way.
That's absolutely fine. Absolutely not a problem. Yeah, we'll take it. Family, not family, it doesn't matter to us. Oh, Artis Millers and Barnard coming together there by the look of it. Let's just take a quick look, see. So Miller's putting pressure on Barnard, coming down into the first corner. He goes up the inside, but gets his brake in all kinds of wrong. And then Barnard says, actually, I think I'll just take that back. Thank you very much. And in the meantime, we see Kingston just getting past Tonks there as well. Balseely's had an off because he's lost a few positions and has ended up down in 12th place. So it's all been happening, guys. I am absolutely lost, yeah. It's just been so much action.
Bonkers, hasn't it?
It has. It's just been non-stop. So this reverse grid stuff is absolutely brilliant. This new format has worked an absolute treat. And yeah. Roll on the next one, that's all I can say, because this is absolutely epic to watch. Beekhouse very close now to the back of Damien Humphries, who's desperately trying to hang on to a top 10 finish. Currently in 9th place with just a couple of laps to go. So speaking of hanging on, just to go back to the battle at the front,
God.
It's so close, but Foster can match him, but he just doesn't appear to have enough pace to get past. And Josh Evans just doing enough to keep our double champion behind him.
Come on, Josh, hang in there. You can do it.
2 laps to go as they cross the line then. 3 minutes. So as they cross the line, there'll be about a minute left and they'll have time to finish that lap. So Evans down into turn 1 under tons of pressure from Foster. You can see there, Beekhouse has got up past Humphries. Let's just take a look at how he's got that done. Sorry, I didn't go back far enough. Apologies. Missed that. Oh, Foster's so close. I just know it was less than 1/10 of a second for a moment there. Alex Kingston has now set the fastest lap of the race. Now he's in a bit of clear air. He's got himself up to 7th in this race. Great job from Kingston. Really good drive. Woburn tried to get the move done on Mooney. Mooney got it a little bit wrong. You can see just wait. Oh, and then Woburn. He tried to wait for him, but Woburn just did a donut instead of getting himself going. That's a shame. Proper close between this little gaggle of cars here as well. You can see it's proper action between these lot. Proper close for position. Kingston has got himself up past Millers. So Millers through the chicane, battling away with Barnard. Gets his lines a little bit wrong there. And you can see he just had to get out of the way in the end. So Miller's down to 7th. Kingston up into 6th. So back to that gaggle of cars. We can still see the Foster battle on stream there, guys. Foster proper close to Evans, but still unable to do anything about it at the moment. Miller's now a little bit on his own, but he's got Bart Tonks pressuring him from behind as well. So Tonks and Beekhouse coming through to battle with Millers as we keep an eye on both of these battles. Miller's under pressure from the 2 Dutchmen as Josh Evans starts the final lap of the race. We are keeping a close eye. You can see through Foster's eyes there. That is him battling away with Josh Evans for the lead, for the win. And Josh Evans currently in 1st place in only his 3rd race for the league. and this would be his maiden victory, but I'm trying not to say too much because a lot can still happen in the final 1.5 minutes of this race. They are, though, on the final lap. He's gone defensive. You can see he's starting to think about it now. It's become a reality. It's there. He can almost touch it. It's so close. We're just keeping an eye. Tonks and Bakehouse are battling away. Balsili's managed to get himself up past Richard Arnold, but we're just sticking with this battle. Barnard and Kingston having a good old ding-dong. Barnard keeping up the inside. Kingston off the track! Oh, as he tried to battle away with Barnard. Let's just have a quick look at how that unfolded. So Kingston trying to go side by side through there. Yeah, and obviously just gets a bit wrong. Barnard giving plenty of racing room there. That was always fair in love and war. So Barnard maintaining that position for now with just a few corners to go. So here we are, Josh Evans then. He's got just, 4 corners to go at this point of the circuit, I believe. There's one of them. 2 to go. Evans
I'm actually holding my breath here.
on the brakes into the final corner for the final time in only his 3rd race with Final Drive Sim Racing. Hits the accelerator. Foster's not going to have enough momentum to get past him. Josh Evans takes a maiden victory. What a win. Number 92 in the McLaren. Evans, in just his 3rd race with Final Drive Sim Racing, takes victory in Sprint Race 2. He said he was hoping for a top 10 finish. Qualified on 2nd. Took Foster after Foster made a mistake into the first corner, and takes victory in only his 3rd race. Absolutely outstanding. Foster battled him all the way with a stellar drive, but he just didn't have the pace to make an overtake stick. Foster in 2nd. Dahan rounds out the podium. He'll be tasting a bit of the imaginary champagne tonight. Matt Heaton with a fantastic 4th place. Luke Barnard coming home in 5th. Great race from Luke. Qualified in 8th, I believe. Had a stinker of a race 1, but he's got himself into 5th position for race 2, and holding off Kingston, who finished in 6th there at the end. Artis Millers in 7th. Bart Tonks in 8th. Bakehouse in 9th. Damien Humphreys in rounding out the top 10. Balsili 11th. Scott in 12th after starting at the back. Richard Arnold in 13th, Dan Stevens 14th, Tickner 15th, Lloyd Reed 16th, Wellborn after that spin ended up in 17th, Morris in 18th, Mooney in 19th, Prescott in 20th, Baker in 21st, Weavers in 22nd, and Alan Davis, unfortunately for him, in 23rd position, with Simpson being a retiree from that 2nd race. Well, that was absolutely bonkers, and I am absolutely knackered. That was some of the most exciting action we have ever had in a race ever. And obviously the sprint races always give you a bit more excitement, but that was absolutely insane and an absolute joy to call. And yeah, it was just a little bit crazy all the way through. So I'm just getting the stream set up, so bear with me a second.
Do we also need to do drive of the race as well?
We do need to do drive of the race, so let's do that quickly before we get into the drivers' interviews. So if you'd like to go away with the suggestions, gentlemen.
Well, I flicked over to the YouTube chat just to see what the other guys were gauging for their driver of the race. Glen piped up with Wes, an honourable shout. He did make his way past a lot of people, but so did Alex Kingston. So, but I'm not going to give it to either of those. I am actually going to give it to, well, yeah, I'm going to vote for Josh. I think he deserves it. I mean, I'm not saying that just because his entire family's watched the race, but I just think he drove the lips off that McLaren and smashed it. He's had a class evening of racing, and I think it's only fitting that he gets rewarded with driver of the race.
Doug?
And I'll follow up, cherry on top really for Josh. I agree with Aaron.
Yeah, it's a full house. I think taking that. But well, let's not talk any more nonsense. Let's ask a man, Josh. Victory on
Hello.
only your third race.
That was more like it, wasn't it?
Absolutely brilliant. World class, mate. Well done. Yeah. So you said just before the race you were hoping to be in the top 10. Qualified second. Took the leader into turn 1 and didn't look back.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic. You must be over the moon, mate.
Yes. Yeah. I did a 10-hour Watkins, Glen, not so long ago, and we DNF'd because we didn't serve a drive-through penalty, so that was nice.
Well, certainly a slightly better end to your evening today then.
Yeah.
No, well done. You look like you had it all under control. Just gaining the confidence, lap after lap. Setting fastest laps under tons of pressure from a double FDSR champion as well. So, yeah, congratulations, mate. I mean, like I say, it's a great start to your final drive sim racing career.
Well, yeah.
So,
Jack, can I just quickly dive in quickly?
Of course you can.
I'm just going to dive off. I'm feeling pretty rough, so I'm just going to skip the interviews if that's all right. I enjoyed the racing though, fellas. Great racing, but I'm going to dive off because I'm feeling pretty rough.
Off you go, mate.
That's fine, man.
Off you go.
All right, see you later. Cheers, boys.
Take care, mate.
Anyway, so Aaron, over to you. Fire away with some questions, my friend.
Cool. I'll go to Lloyd. Lloyd, you looked pretty fast in race 1. You did well. I mean, I think there was the little sort of love tap off Adam. I thought you still recovered well, for a P4, and it was a pretty decent result. We were just saying in the early stream how sort of I suppose inspirational, as I guess it is, that you've come from driving the McRae to smashing it and battling for podiums and race wins in the Mercedes this season. Looked a little bit more difficult in race 2 though, but you did have a little moment. Just wondering what your thoughts are on how you're going to do this season, and maybe looking at your form tonight, if that's a fair reflection of how far you think you've come and if you're going to carry that on for the rest of the season.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, race 1 was epic. I didn't imagine qualifying where I was. I don't know if it's down to the Mercedes just doing well here or not, but I feel like I've forcefully got to grips with it. It's a hard car to get the trust in. You need to know it's going to make the corner and all that sort of stuff. But it was good. I had to run in with Adam. I need to see the replay. I'm not sure that it's a bit like Dom last season where I kind of turned in and I knew Adam was fast through that bit. And then I don't know, if I was going to be really careful, I probably would have covered the inside line knowing he's going to dive down there. But I just thought, no, I'll be confident. Adam knows what he's doing, but obviously it tapped, which is unfortunate. But I mean, I did get a good start as well. I got the leap on Alex somehow, got into second place. But all night I was just struggling with that last turn in. I don't know what it was. The car either wanted to sort of turn in too early or just didn't want to turn at all. So a few times I hit the wall, and that's where Alex got past.
Shame. We did catch some of the moments with the wall. And,
I don't know what's happening.
I was saying in the Porsche it was quite easy to actually get that turn in. You could see it was. I found sometimes that the ABS was actually sending the car wider than what it should do. So I had to turn the ABS right down to actually get a nice turn in. And I wondered if the same was happening to you, because I think sometimes as well at turn 1, a couple of the guys were running wide. It almost looked like as if the ABS was throwing the cars a little bit wider than what it should do.
Yeah, I mean, to me, in theory, you go, you brake a bit earlier or something, and then you get around the corner a bit easier. But I was braking earlier and still not making it, and what I had to do was kind of turn in, let go, let the car sort of grip up, and then push, and it would sort of kick the back end out. So it's probably just a lack of experience, in all fairness.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, unbelievable battle at the end with Michael and Wes
Class.
behind me as well. That's probably my best ever sort of battling, and to get it on the last lap is just like, wow, that was immense. So really happy with that. Yeah, race two was
well
going.
done.
Yeah, race two was going well. I sort of barged my way past Scott. I felt a bit bad. Rich, I tried to dive down the inside on turn one, and I think I just took it a bit too keen, went out a bit too wide at the end, and I knew that curve was dangerous, and yet again, it just reminded me how dangerous it is. So, yeah, it just. I watched it in the replay when we did the sprints on Tuesday, and I found out that Mercedes is bottoming out if you straddle that curb too much down the bottom, and I think that's what happened again. I just was coming off it, and the rear end just went whoop, gone. So yeah, that was disappointing, and then because of that, I damaged the front a little bit, so it wasn't turning in quite as well. Which that's the last thing you want on that Mercedes.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So I mean, all in all, I'm just focusing on the first race. Really happy with that. I do think I found a little bit of pace in that Merc that I wasn't finding in the Audi. So it'd be interesting to do it in the dry on a normal track.
Yeah.
To be seeing people like Adam and Wes in my rearview mirror is intoxicating, really. So yeah, I will be pushing myself.
No, well done. And I think,
no, thank you.
I know what some of the guys have said to me on Tuesday night sprints was to go back at the end of the season and try the tracks early on just to see how fast, how much we've improved. And I'd be very keen to see how much you improve in that Mercedes.
I think I've been hitting personal bests everywhere at the moment. So
nice.
I've been doing Brands Hatch. It's always my go-to track for practicing on a car. And yeah, I took 2 tenths off, which for me was amazing. So yeah, I'm definitely connecting with that car, and I think it's definitely one to watch.
Good stuff.
Thank you.
Good stuff. Go on then, Mike. I'll hand the baton to you.
Yeah, cheers.
Mike's gone for cover. There he is.
No, I'm here. I'm here. I to be honest, I was just sat there just thinking about that was the most bonkers race I've ever commentated on. It was just absolutely mental from start to finish. There was so much going on, and I didn't even bother using the replay overlay because it took too much time because there was so much going on. I didn't have time for that. I was pressing the replay, smashing the replay button all the time, but without the overlay because it was going to take too much time. Anyway, Matt, much better race too, mate. Nice 4th place finish there for you. You must be happy with that, but race 1 looked a little bit tricky for you.
Yeah, firstly, absolutely unreal. So happy with 4th. Morris did get me, but he then spun out, fortunately, so I managed to get that spot back, but absolutely buzzing for 4th. The first race, I got into a bit of a groove and I got the flow, and then, I was fairly happy with where I was, purely on the fact that the new guys that have come in are just, unreal. So, yeah, I was kind of happy where I was, maybe fighting a little bit further up, and then I just lost it going through the first corner, so it dropped me back, funnily enough, directly behind Rich of all people, and then, yeah, I just couldn't get him because I'd lose downforce as soon as I get anywhere near him.
So are you comfortable with the Lambo, and you think it's going to be that sort of fighting for top 10s sort of season for you?
I hope so, yeah. I did. I flirted with the Audi, actually. I was chatting to Lloyd quite a bit in the off-season, talking to him about the Audi, and I did do a few races on LFM with it. But in the end, I decided, I'm just going to stick with the Lambo. I've had a season in the Lambo. I'm more comfortable with it. I'm still new to sim racing, so stick with what I know, build the knowledge that I've got with the Lambo and the comfort that I've got with it, and go with it. And I think it's the right choice. I enjoy driving it. I've got to grips with it, so I think it's going to give me the best chance to fight for those top 10s.
Oh, well done, mate. Like I say, that second race you could see you looked really comfortable, and you drove really well. So, and like I say, you drove well in race 1. It's just that one mistake really that cost you another decent finishing position. But well done. Over to you, Az.
Thank you.
Sorry, I was on mute. I'll go to Senor Arnold. Hello, Rich.
Hola.
Didn't seem like the easiest of nights in that Honda for you and for Alan. Actually, just seemed a little bit tricky.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much to say about it. I mean, firstly, Josh, awesome, man. There's nothing I like more than new guys coming into the league and just hit the ground running and do what you did. That's incredible. Lloyd doing what he's doing in that Merc is out of this world. And I'm one of Lloyd's biggest fans. I think he's probably one of the most gentlemanly racer on the grid. And to see him suddenly he's top 5 easy in that Merc is great to see. When he came through the back on race 2, it was really nice to have a good battle with him. And Matt with 4th as well. There's so much to talk about, isn't there? As far as my night went, I was actually pretty happy. The practice hasn't been going great. My times haven't been great. And then come tonight with qualifying, all kind of sat together. I got contact twice early on in both races. Bart took me trying to go up the inside and race on lap 1 and race 1, and then Damo. I'm not even sure what happened. He came up too fast behind me going up the hill on lap 1 and spun me. So I had damage, but I was handling it and had some really good races tonight. Yeah, I probably could have finished a bit higher than I did, but there was some immense racing, and in race 2 I had Scott pushing me the whole way from behind. I was catching Bart and Damo up, and then Wes and Kingston came flying through, and there was a massive part whether you guys saw it at turn 1 where there was like 4 abreast going in there, and it was me trying to catch up to Damo, and suddenly I had Wes and Scott and all sorts coming either side of me. It was like, what the hell am I doing? What's going on? And there was no contact, and we all got out of it, and yeah, so the actual racing, so I'm really happy. I've had a great night. Is it geeky to turn around and say, if you like the racing and you've had a good night, does it really matter where you finish? I've raced some really close races. We've had some really good racing with people. Some people I've not raced with before. I'm happy, man. I've got a smile on my face.
No, good. That's exactly what sim racing should be. There's so much that you can compete for in real life, and we don't compete for money. It's nothing serious, really. I mean, I know obviously ego and pride matters, but at the end of the day, we all come on after work, and it's just a bit of fun, isn't it?
It's something I always advertise of FDSR as well. We are so different to other leagues. You start racing with people regularly, you start learning how they race, and everyone starts learning how close you can get, and all of that, and you end up with races like I had tonight, where you're doing 4 away going at turn 1, and you all get out of it unscathed. And all right, a few positions have been swapped, but it's just brilliant. And you talk about egos; there aren't really egos here. It's everyone just loves racing. It's just a brilliant place to come on a Thursday night. Sod where you finish, it doesn't matter. You get races if you're in the top 5. You get races if you're in the bottom 5. There's always someone at your skill level that you can have a good old ding dong with, and that is. That's what we're here for, and that's why I like to spend Thursday nights with you boys.
Yeah, exactly. And I think as well, when you enjoy what you drive, it doesn't really matter where you finish. Like, I know that you apologised for tapping me on Tuesday, but I didn't really care because I enjoyed driving the car around the track in the wet, and it was just like, I just feel like there's no other series where I could do that. I couldn't compete in my touring car league and do that. It'd just be demoralising for me, but for some reason in this, I got great satisfaction out of it.
And I think the way that you guys do the production, where you see people's faces, you talk to them, you get to know everyone. I mean, we're in season 4 now, and I feel like you guys are. It's a bit of a brotherhood we've got going on here. Even the new guys that are coming in. 2 seasons time, we're going to have 30 people on this grid, and we're all going to know exactly how to race with one another. And okay, you're in top 5, you get spun out. By accident, and you end up in the bottom 5. You're still going to be racing people, and you're going to know who they are, and it's just it's great, it's brilliant.
No, you've hit the nail on the head, really.
I do my best.
Apologies to jump in very quickly. I just want to second that 100% because honestly, since joining this league, some of the best people I know who I genuinely consider as really good close friends are in this league, and I look forward to meeting some of them in a few months' time when we go to Brands Ups together to watch British Touring Car. And that is exactly what the league's all about. It is a brotherhood. The camaraderie, the characters, they're fantastic. Sorry for interrupting.
Oh, man. I'm going to get emotional. You're going to make a commentator. You're going to make a grown-ass man cry on
How many of those beers you had, Matt?
It's just the one, but I have drank it quite quickly.
Oh, right. Well, I suppose that ties up my questioning. Christ, I said that like I was an interrogating officer there. So try not to interrogate one of our drivers, Mike.
I'll try not to. Dan, how did you find that, mate? It looked like you. I mean, you were in plenty of battles today, that's for sure.
Yeah, to be honest, it was abysmal. It was terrible. Every time like someone come behind me, I just felt like I would slide wide. And but yeah, so it was fun. You can't knock the fun out of it. I'm struggling with the car, but yeah, just it's all great fun.
Is it a practice thing or knowledge of setups? I'm just curious, because like for me, it's knowledge of setups. I'm absolutely useless. So I'm just curious as to what you're struggling with in particular.
Yeah, I think it's setups. Haven't used a McLaren at many tracks other than ones that been set up by someone else in endurance races, and it's not turning like the Porsche did basically. So that's why I'm struggling.
Yeah, the Porsche is a very, very different animal, but yeah, we'll leave my moans about the Porsche to another day. Yeah, I mean, do you come into a season with any particular aspirations, or is it just a case of, look, I'm just here, I'm gonna have fun, I'm gonna enjoy myself?
It just come for fun, really. It gives us something to do in the evenings. Like everyone said, it's a load of people. We have a laugh or a joke. Some of us that stay in the chat between each other, there's always something going on. As you found out on the Tuesday nights.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just curious, and I like just talking to you guys and finding out these things because so many leagues that I've been involved with, people just take it so seriously, and everybody's Senna, and it just all goes wrong. And it's just lovely, that the atmosphere and the ethos with this league is just really, really nice to be part of. So it's just nice to ask these questions. But hey, bit of a stinker, but there you go. On to the next one, Spa next week. Hopefully Adam will turn the rain off and you can have a nice clean race. Yeah, Doug, over to you for the last questions.
To Doug. Whoa!
Oh, Aaron, sorry. I'm tired. It's been a long day.
Oh, man. It's fine.
Do you realize how stressful that last race was to commentate on?
The flick between that. No, I do. I get it. It's fine. I've been called far worse. Don't worry. But I've saved my favourite guy to speak to till last. Adam, I suppose you might be a little bit disappointed with that, but that second race, mate, my God, it was just every lap, that time, I could tell. Even though Mike didn't flick over to the Delta until with 10 minutes to go, it was just to drive on the limit for 20 minutes on the back of someone relentlessly. I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you didn't blow up. It just massive credit to you, and I just wanted to know your thoughts on race 2. If you felt like you had it in the tank, or if Josh had it covered the entire race.
Yeah, I made a silly mistake going into turn 1. I haven't started on the front row here, so I weren't sure where to brake. I ran wide and got in front of me. I was like, So the qualifying time was quite a gap in it. I was like, I'll be able to get him back. It's fine. But he put his car where it needed to be, and it's just so hard to overtake someone unless you're about 7/10 to a second quicker. You can't really overtake. If you put your car in the right place, it's really good. And he done really well tonight. It was awesome race. A couple of times where it got fag paper width, where almost touching him down into the chicane. So the Honda's just got the power down there, so I was catching him side by side, and didn't know how late he was going to brake, didn't know how late I was going to brake, to be honest. Couldn't see nothing in the spray when you're that close either as well. But yeah, awesome race 2. Had a bit of a stinker in race 1. Not sure, like I said, Lloyd said, not sure what happened in that corner. I think it was a bit of a cheeky dive. Bit I'm getting in front of you sort of dive, but a safe dive. And then just tapped, and now I had to wait for everyone to go round.
We basically said exactly the same as that on stream. It wasn't malicious, but it was just a little bit of there's a gap there, I'll go for it. So
yeah, it's stick my nose there, he might get scared and go wide.
Yeah.
Really, it doesn't work with Lloyd now. He knows that I'm wide, so yeah. But all in all, like everyone said, it's just I'm disappointed I lost a bit of points, but that's not what we're here for. I've won 2 championships, so yeah, I'm happy to race everyone and get the new guys in. Lloyd's coming up, and yeah, I've come second on that one out in sheer pace. So well done.
No, you smashed it, mate. With everything considered, that second race, and like you say, with everyone coming through, it's just like I suppose it's what you work hard for, isn't it? Promoting the league and trying to advertise it, and why we commentate, and why everybody sticks about. This is what you ultimately want to build for. So to see it come together must be like a pretty proud dad moment for you and Rich running the league and all the other admins.
Yeah, it's getting it's to a point now where we think we've got a set up here. We've got something good. We've got a nice bunch of people already set in. Then just slowly drip feed people in, and then maybe don't know what's going to come next. So yeah,
I think it's definitely worth saying. I think that the new guys that have turned up this season, they've really hit the ground running. They're sticking around. They drive fair. They're quick. You know, it's hopefully they enjoy it and they're going to be here. But I think we've got 5 or 6 now, haven't we? New drivers this season. That usually we get 1 or 2, and then maybe one drops out or whatever. But seems to be a good handful that are in and staying. So it's it's going to be a good season. This, if we can get 20 plus drivers every race, that's the next stage, and that's great for us. It just makes the racing as good as it was tonight.
Definitely, mate. Definitely. Second that, 100%. But I've got nothing more to ask, so I'll hand back over to my beautiful Welsh commentator to sign off.
Well, what can I say? I just want to thank all the drivers. I mean, particularly for that race too, was just an absolute pleasure to commentate on. It was such a hectic, fantastic race, but it was just brilliant action all the way through. So thanks to all the drivers for giving us that entertainment. Thanks as always to my 2 co-coms guys, and thanks to all the organisers of the league and all the drivers for taking part, and all the drivers coming into the comms box. It's always interesting to have these conversations at the end of it. And next week we go to my second favourite place on earth, which is Spa-Francorchamps. So really looking forward to that endurance race. That'll be a really, really interesting one. And endurance race comes with pit stops and everything else, which will always add a bit of jeopardy. So stay tuned. Please like, subscribe, share, come along. See us next week, and we'll be back.